Elaina,
Okay.
how the fuck are you?
Me? I'm
No,
good.
the other guest.
Good. Oh my God. Right away, they're going to be like, oh, she's a ditz.
No. They're not going to think that. And even if they do, what the fuck does their opinion matter?
You know what? There are worse things to be.
Not to sound like an egomaniac, but they're the ones coming to consume this content. We're not going to them.
Yes, a lot of people consume content of mine.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's part of being a professional in this is hopefully that people are consuming your content and you're not just, making films to throw out into the ether.
Right. Exactly. Which, yeah, that is the point, isn't it? So we were talking about sometimes when I go live, and unless you wanted to talk about something else, but
I wanted to start immediately and capture what we were talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So we were talking about some of the weird things. And one of the weirdest comments I got, and it really actually set me back for a second. I was doing a live on Instagram. I don't know if I can say the platform, but, and this guy was like, and it was by myself because I don't even know how to combine people together when they're doing a live. So it was just me and I was just talking and I'm just like, oh, Chile, oh, Greece, oh, I've been there, that kind of thing. Just trying to make people feel nice and welcome and stuff. And this guy's like, you talk too much. Well, I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to be doing here. It's a live on Instagram. I'm talking to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do calisthenics.
Right. And anything much more explicit would get you immediately yanked.
Boom. Hello. I mean, it was just funny too. Speaking of that, and we can talk about that too. But yeah, the other things that they asked me to do is they're like, stand up and turn around. And I'm like, I'm not like a little performing monkey. I'm not going to just, oh yes, no, that you can get elsewhere. Those kind of requests elsewhere.
Right. With monetary transactions involved.
Right. Exactly. Well, speaking of that kind of stuff, so I got a TikTok removed and it was really cute. It was a cute TikTok. Now, yes, I was wearing kind of a dominatrix-y leather vest. Okay. And I had this much cleavage. But it was this whole little gig of where I'm lip syncing a Russian woman who's saying I found a good place that you can find husbands. It's on Tinder. They're other people's husbands, but they're husbands, right? So it was cute, right? And funny.
That's funny as hell.
Right. But it got flagged and it got taken down by TikTok. And I appealed it because I was like, for violating community rules of nudity and sexual, not completion, but sexual enjoyment or something. And I was like, well, I'll be goddamned if I'm going to give that away.
Right.
If somebody, I mean, certainly not what I was trying to do is fulfill people's sexual needs by being on TikTok and making a joke. And I thought, okay, well, we're going to have to be really careful from now on in TikTok. I mean, they're the worst. They are
absolutely the worst. I recently got into the TikTok space and I posted a clip of me and Nathan Bronson. I mean, talking about something that was fairly graphic, but it's just words. There's
right.
no imagery whatsoever. And they're just like, nope, we're muting this because of community standards.
Oh, so then they just muted it. So they took mine down because obviously people were getting off on my cleavage, which again, I don't give that away for free. So that makes me mad. But but so you weren't even you weren't in your nudity or anything. You weren't showing cleavage or bulge
nope.
In your case, I guess.
Kept the tits under the shirt. Yeah, no hairy chest, no nipples, no nothing. And
so they're the worst. And then here's the weird thing about TikTok. So obviously I'm a full-figured grown-up woman. And I don't have a big butt, but you will see the biggest, and I'm envious because it used to be a bad thing to have a big butt. I don't know. I'm 54. Are you in my realm of age?
I'm a little younger. I'm 40.
Okay. You might not remember this, but there was a time when it was a put down if you called and you said a woman had a big ass.
Well, I remember that. I mean, I definitely remember calling an ex-girlfriend like, "Oh, you look thick in those jeans." I meant it as a compliment. She got real mad at me.
Right. But now it's a good thing. And so I'm a little envious. So I have to preface this. I'm envious of the girls with the badonka because I don't have one. I don't think I can get one. I think it's just not my thing.
There are modern medical sciences that
I know, but then I saw somebody recovering from one of those on like 90 Day Fiance, and she was like having to sit on a donut for like weeks. And then I thought, yeah, and what if it's uneven? Then you got to go in more, and then they're pumping it up with stuff. And
well, you have a bad surgeon if it's uneven.
Yeah, but it can happen. Like,
can you sue for malpractice at that point? It's like, no, doc, you fucked up here.
They would revise it or something. I mean, but I think it just happens because I think when you're dealing with fat transfers, like what's going to stick, what's not going to stick, it can be variable.
But you could also make a bunch of money of just you sitting on a donut.
Not on TikTok. Yeah, you could someplace else, right?
Yes. I mean, you're more than welcome to say like other platforms here. Like,
yeah, you're right. Like OnlyFans.
Yes.
OnlyFans and Fansly, and I dabble in the many vids.
Yeah, like don't worry about like, oh my God, you said the platform. No, it's okay. Good. So TikTok, but you see these beautiful women and they've got giant butts and they're okay apparently with that. So whoever is monitoring TikTok, I don't think you can get in trouble for like twerking your butt full on. So they must not feel that that's sexually gratifying is the butt part. So whoever's monitoring this, that must not be satisfactory to them sexually, but boobs are. Boobs are definitely. The algorithm's an ass man. Got it.
Right. Or they are unaware of that. So that or little girls, but it's like the little girls can wear skimpy stuff and they seem to be okay, which is creepy to me. But that seems to be a thing, that the algorithm.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
They might not be little girls, but they look young.
TikTok, Instagram, hell, Facebook just recently had an inside newsletter or memorandum going around about like, oh, hey, we know we are actively destroying women's self-esteem. I'm sure TikTok is as well.
That was in Congress. That was a whistleblower brought that up during a congressional hearing. And absolutely. They're like, whatever, it's cutthroat. It's business for them. It's interesting in the model community. And I have friends that do this, that are OnlyFans. And one of the things, and I don't know if you've heard about this, but they're so mad at Instagram. And believe me, when it happens to me, and I say when, because apparently, someday it's going to happen to me. I mean, it just seems like it's inevitable that Instagram will take down my stuff too. But I just started this in April, but they were like, we're going to do a class action suit against Instagram for, getting rid of our, and I'm like, good luck with that. Good luck finding a lawyer that will take on Mark Zuckerberg and his minions of metaverse.
Well, and even if you find out, because I'm sure there's some unscrupulous lawyer who will be like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the case. Why not?
Of course.
They'll do it for the press.
You're not going to win.
Right. You're not going to win. They're a private business. They have every right to, as long as they're not discriminating against a protected class.
Exactly.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Right. It's like you come into my house and I say, take off your pants. You can't come into my house with your pants on. You have to make a choice. Am I going to leave my pants on or am I going to take them off? Could be shoes.
Is this a rule in your house? Like,
it might be. Maybe.
For the audio audience, I can only see, from about the chest up on Elaina. I have no idea if she's wearing pants or not.
Oh, I might be fully clothed.
Oh, okay.
It just might be guests that can't be fully clothed.
You just want to see what your guests are working with when they get in?
I don't know. Maybe.
Or just their cute underwear choices if they wear underwear?
Maybe. I don't know. I just thought of it now. I kind of like it. Used to be shoes, but it could be pants.
Pants and shoes now.
Yeah, maybe.
You have to set up hooks. You can't just be rude and be like, you got to leave your pants on the floor. You got to set up hooks if you're going to be like, no pants allowed in the house.
Yeah, I could do that. You know how they have those, like, you're on the West Coast, right? So there's a lot of Aloha kind of stuff, and they'll have like put your slipper in the outside or whatever. I remember when I lived in Southern California, they'd have little signs on the porch that would be like little aloha, keep your shoes outside. You could do that for pants.
That's pretty brutal in Chicago, making people take their pants on outside. Like, that's pretty brutal to do.
I guess I think of porches, but yeah, I don't know.
Assuming your porch is enclosed. There's a lot of outdoor porches in Chicago.
I know. I'm just these things
mean.
come to my head. This is my little dominant kind of cruelty.
Real mean. But then you can't even accurately judge packages when they like return inside their body from being frozen outside.
Well, isn't that the real test, though?
Yeah. Real mean.
That's the real test. What is it like when you're cold?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm not sure where to go with this. So,
as someone who has an average size penis, like, I'm like, yeah, I need all the help I can get. I don't need to like be exposed to the cold here.
Yeah, but you know what? Average size is better than. Here's the thing, and do most men really understand that there is such a thing as too long?
So I don't think most men realize that, like, because on a couple different levels. One, they're exposed to porn, so they're exposed to the average size porn dick, which is roughly 2.5 inches longer than the actual average size penis.
What? Wait. What is the average size porn dick?
Like 7 and change.
7 and change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the average U.S. male is, I think, at 5.75.
Okay. All right. Because I just made a TikTok like that too, but it didn't mention penis size. And no wonder I had a bunch of guys that are like, oh, because it was kind of like a yes, no. And then I'm pointing on different inches. So it's very wink, wink. And I think I put like 6 to 7 as being like the target. Now, of course, these are just arbitrary. But yeah, guys get really hooked up about the whole length. And it's so much more than that. And it's not just the ocean motion kind of thing. It's the girth too. Like it's like a nice combination of both.
Right. The nerve endings are all around the entrance there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can, of course, be short and stubby, but I mean, that's not the optimal either. It's just a nice balance.
I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I saw someone post something about penis fillers.
Yeah, well, that you can get them?
Yeah, that you can get penis fillers. And the joke TikTok was Instagram model I follow. She's just like, dudes talk shit about fillers until they hear that they can get them for their dick.
Yeah, well, and I've seen, so in this business, right, I had one toy. I had one vibrator before I got into this business. Now I have a whole like little stock room, and they're all like in a little nice storage. But now I see all these other ones, and I see there's so many of these sheaths for penises. Like, so I guess I don't know, what would that be like? I don't know, but it's to make it bigger though. And I don't know if it's to keep the flaccidity down but there's a lot of them that I guess you put it on and then you go to town. Do you know anything about this, Matt?
I have not ever. Yeah. The only things I've ever stuck my penis in are other people and condoms. Sometimes not at the same time.
That would be a good book title for you. The only things I've stuck my penis in. Matt Slayer.
That's going to be the autobiography.
Yeah. I like it.
That New York Times bestseller. I'll do the book tour. Maybe stick my penis inside some other people while I'm touring.
Wow. Are you married?
Let me check the paperwork.
I'm like, that is a bold statement.
Get in where you fit in. Come on.
Yeah, I guess. Right. So there's all kinds of sex toys. The ones that I think I am the most intrigued about are the remote control that can be worked with an app.
That is so dangerous. That's so dangerous.
Isn't that so? I actually know of a creator, and she does this and then she'll sell it, and I won't ever tell you who it is. obviously. But she's like, oh yeah, I just keep it in my purse and then I feel it vibrate. And I'm like, oh honey, blah, blah, blah.
The idea of like, oh, hey, this sex object can be hacked.
Well, I just think it's just a bizarre thing. If you're thinking about like, you're someplace, I mean, I kind of like it in a very perverse, wacky way of like, I'm walking, wow, hello, you know, like you're walking the dog and all of a sudden something happens, or you're, you know, driving. I mean, that actually could be really dangerous. That could become a thing.
It could.
You know, no text in driving, no vibrating in driving.
Yeah, I think that definitely falls under distracted driving. I think it does. Just maybe a little. The most dangerous one I saw was they were selling an app-enabled like butt plug that, you know, kind of expanded so you couldn't pull it out without the person who holds the app giving you permission to remove it. I'm like, yeah, no.
Oh my God. I saw one. They were, this was more in the kind of dominant realm of things. And they were chastity cages that you could not unlock yourself or whatever, but it was like a remote control thing. Yeah. And they have some of these chastity cages, and it's because I'm a kid at heart, that are glow in the dark. That one kind of sounds fun. But then there are metal ones. And again, I've never used this, but I'm intrigued by really weird stuff. And there's the metal ones, and there's some that look like chainmail. That's really crazy. It's very Game of Thrones, I think. Right?
Does it come with all the murder?
And then, but here's my thought. It's like all these guys that are in chastity cages, do they go like, what happens when they go on an airplane? Like, do they keep it on? Because it's metal.
I'm sure there's some poor TSA agents that they have to explain it to.
You think so? So you think they're wearing them? Well, they have to. Some of these guys have to.
Oh, some of these guys definitely
They're diehards.
Yeah.
Right. And probably part of the thrill is, oh my God, I'm going to have to admit I'm wearing a chastity cage. And that's what's setting off the metal alarm.
The scanner, like, sir, what's that in your pants?
Oh my God. Can you imagine? That would almost be worth being a TSA agent.
I don't know.
A day. Come on. Just to experience that, to have some guy, especially if he was like in a suit, if he looked very stand up, you know, because those are the guys that usually are the freaks. And I say freaks in a very endearing way. But they usually are the ones that want to be, you know, dominated. And so some guy, like a Ted Cruz.
No shade to Ted Cruz. Well, maybe a little shade to Ted Cruz. I'm sure he would just slip right out of any chastity device you put him in. Allegedly, don't sue me.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you don't have any proof of that.
No, this is comedic parody or, you know, free speech. You're a Republican, free speech. You love that, right? I'm just talking
he's
shit.
Just one of those guys that I think across the aisle, we can all agree, not real popular.
Yet still keeps getting elected.
That's a whole nother topic for another day, right?
Texas, what's wrong with you?
Poor Texas, man. What
what
is going on?
I don't know. No more raw dogging in Texas.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I used to work for a company in Texas. I used to go down to Texas all the time. Texas is great in a lot of ways. Although, my God, I did this tour once where I was in sales. So I was driving around Texas, and this was probably the mid 90s. And I went to, it was East Texas. And I swear to God, it was like I went into a time change, and I went into the 70s because I went into a couple stores. There were women with full-on beehives. We're talking the late 1990s. I mean, like for real, like the ones that
full-on Marge Simpson looking.
Yeah, like, and more than one. So it wasn't like, oh, okay, she's, retro gal. Nope.
Some one-horse town has one stylist, and all she knows how to do is beehives.
Yeah, or she's just, there are a lot of women that stick with what they know and what works for them. That was weird. And when I was traveling, when I was even younger, and I'm from the Midwest, of course, so it's a different mentality. But you go down to like the South, And a lot of it is very, just like very whatever, urban, whatever. But I was driving through Mississippi once and got out and I started getting out to fill up my car with gas. And the guy's like, "Oh, ma'am, we do not let ladies do that around here." And I was like, okay, all right.
Okay, American Taliban, do you allow us drive too?
Apparently, because he didn't seem to have a problem with that because I was driving, but
only if you're picking up your man's food.
Yeah, well, maybe but so it was weird though. And then they had this stuff at this, it was similar area. And I swear to God, it fooled me probably for 5 years until I read something in a paper and I was like, oh, that was a parody. And it was these little cups and it was called like roadkill in a can. Roadkill. And it was like canned possum or something, but it was like, and it had a wrapper and it was in this little can. I was like, damn, that is so weird. But I'm in the South and this is just the way they do things. And then later I found out that it was like it was a joke and it was like a pudding cup. Remember when pudding cups came in? Little, yeah.
Yeah, and they were endorsed by rapists. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. Were they the Jell-O brand?
Yep.
Okay. He's out now though, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, and he got thrown out or something.
Yep.
That's weird.
Sad state of affairs.
Yeah, it sure is.
Didn't mean to be in the mood down there.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, we were just talking about roadkill too. Which is, sad too.
I know one of the times I was in the South, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, just because I'm originally a Midwesterner too. I don't know if you're aware.
Are you from the Chicago area?
I am indeed.
Okay. I'm a little north. I'm from Wisconsin. So.
Oh, okay. What, like Kenosha?
No, a little outside of Madison, kind of in between Madison and Milwaukee. My parents were divorced. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So southern Wisconsin. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm Chicago born and raised.
Okay.
But definitely took a road trip down to Florida. And yes. I remember being in Georgia and being like, are they giving away shotgun shells with chew at the gas station?
And they were?
They were. Like, legit. Like, what the fuck?
I know. Isn't it something? Because we're all in the United States and there are some regional differences that are just still there, which I love, which is kind of why I love America and I love traveling and I love traveling all over the place because I love those things where it's just like, and this is just normal for where they are. Like Blue Moon ice cream. Nobody knows about it outside of like the Midwest. Do you know about it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But no, people don't know about it.
The less famous regional delicacies are always fun too.
Yes. Yes. And I'm such a believer in like, you go and you eat what the locals eat. Right?
You'd be amazed like how many people don't know what a pizza puff is.
A pizza what?
A pizza puff.
Pizza. Well, see, I don't even really know what a pizza puff is. I'm really north of Chicago. I'm so north of Chicago. I'm like Wisconsin. But
okay, but
yeah,
like almost every hot dog stand in Chicago also offers a pizza puff. Oh. And it is like pizza filling inside like a kind of breaded pastry that's deep fried.
Huh.
They're actually manufactured by a tortilla company in Chicago.
Huh.
It is purely a Chicago thing, but it's ranked so low behind like a Chicago style hot dog or deep dish or but like true Chicago is like, oh yeah, I know what a pizza puff is.
Interesting. Yeah. See, I'm north. But yeah, that and I'm more like we can talk cheese curds. I can talk cheese curds all day long.
You have Culver's. I miss Culver's.
Yeah, that's so funny. I was just talking to one of my. They're all over the place though now, but I think they've hit California. I think they've hit the West Coast.
No,
right?
No.
Oh,
way.
I would check because they are aggressively growing.
They're probably like, if anything, they're in fucking Vegas or some shit like.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, Culver's. I've been to the original one, but yeah, no, the Culver's thing. I remember I was dating a guy from Italy. He was from Venice, came over, and it's such a weird thing when you are in like Wisconsin and you're showing somebody from someplace amazing like Venice, freaking Venice. Like when I went to see him, we went to Burano, and he showed me the Doge's Palace and the Bridge of Sighs and Rialto, and we went to the Dolomites, and I mean, like, holy crap, like beautiful exotic things. And then I was like, well, we can go to Lambeau Field, and we'll go to Lambeau Field, and it was when Brett Favre was still playing, and he was practicing, and I'm just like, Roberto, you that's Brett Favre right there. And he goes, I do not like the American football. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm like, no, that's Brett Favre. Like, he's a big freaking deal. He's a big deal. And this is Lambeau Field, and you're at Lambeau Field. And he's just like, yeah. But he did like the Culver's. Did like the Culver's hamburgers. He did like them. Yeah. Yeah, that and the cheese curds. So he was all up for that. But it was kind of like, okay, where else do I show him? Like,
the Mars Cheese Castle, of course.
Well, there's that. There's always cheese.
It's Wisconsin. Even though California produces more cheese than Wisconsin does these days.
You know what? You guys have good weather.
We do.
So I used to be in California. I loved California. I loved the weather of California. I loved 3 seasons.
Why would you go back to the Midwest? Why?
Because my fiance traded me in for a younger model, and he said I couldn't stay living with him.
You can get your own place in California. There's not just one
place.
place.
It's so expensive, though. Oh, my God. No, I do like California.
I'm sure you could make it work.
I don't know. Maybe. I was in Orange County. So for me, being from the Midwest, I was there, and I would just have these big eyes, and I'd be like, oh my God, they really do look like this. I would see them in the wild, the blondes with their little, at the time, juicy couture. Remember the juicy butt?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And the zip up, right? The tracksuit things. And I'd be like, oh my God, there's another one. And they all kind of look the same. Or you'd go out to dinner, and there'd be 2 old guys, and obviously their second wives. And their hair, the ladies would look the same. They both have the same blonde hair. It looked like they had the same nose. I mean, it was really uncanny.
Yeah, it does get a little Stepford Wives at times.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how, and I'm not trying to pinpoint you, but like, are you in the LA area?
Oh, I'm in fucking Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. You are right there. Okay. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, people talk about the traffic, but if you don't have to deal with it every day, I don't think it's a big deal. Though I will say the fires are kind of scary to me.
Yeah, the fires only affect the rich people.
You think? Is that right? Because
mainland Hollywood ain't burning down.
No.
There ain't enough wood around us. Like, Griffith Park caught on fire for a half a second, like a year or 2 ago, and they put that shit out super fast.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I do remember. And again, when you're from the Midwest, right, there's things that when you're living in other places that you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Like one of the things I don't think a lot of people understand is how being close to the ocean deteriorates like brass fixtures, for instance. Which is weird to me because I'd just be like, wow, that is not that old. And it's all green. Yeah, because we're close to the ocean. It's all the salt water. Or not having air conditioning. If you're in a house that's like, we were a couple miles from the ocean, right? Near Newport Beach. We didn't have air conditioning. I'm like, how do you not have air conditioning? You're in California. Well, it never gets that freaky hot.
It definitely does. And they fucked up. I have central air, and I will never live in a place in LA that does not have central air.
Oh my, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe how close, are you not close to the ocean? Because I know it gets really hot when you're further in.
So I'm in the heart of Hollywood. Like, I'm not in the valley, I'm not suffering like that, but, the ocean is 10, 12 miles away.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, it was so funny. Somebody was just, I think one of family gathering, one of my nieces, they were just like, well, I'd like to go to Hollywood. And I'm just like, yeah, probably not the best place as a kid for fun. Probably still want to stick with the whole Disney World or Disneyland.
Honestly, I don't think Hollywood's a great place to visit as an adult.
It's not the same as like New York as far as you're walking around. There's stuff. Yeah, it's spread out.
Well, LA is spread out, and LA, I'd say this all the time, is a horrible city for tourism. Our attractions suck. What makes this place fucking magical is some entertainer is going to do something off the wall and strange, and you just have to be here for it, and you just have to hear about it and jump on it.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fucking awesome.
Right. It's the sightings. Now, I think I've seen more celebrities when I was on business in New York, because you'd just be like walking and I'd be like, that's Liv Schreiber. Oh my God. I probably mispronounced his name, but you know, it was like, oh my God, they just walked by me, you know, like that sort of thing. But
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. I'm obviously I ramble. I don't get out much.
It's okay. Once again, talk show.
But the best sighting I saw was Warren Beatty in Beverly Hills. I mean, I thought that was like iconic. There he is getting into a car. I was with a friend of mine who was blonde. I think he checked us out. I don't know, maybe not.
It's your story. He definitely checked you out. Like he delayed getting in the car and was like, and his assistant's like, Mr. Beatty, we gotta go. Okay, I guess we'll go.
He's like, I guess I'm past that stage. You know, the thing about Warren Beatty that's the craziest? He and Cher used to hook up before she was famous. Do you know that? Did you read about that?
No.
It was in one of her books. I find that fascinating because he was already a big star. She wasn't, and then she became a big star. It's just, that's a crazy kind of small world thing.
He has definitely had some intercourse with some very famous people over the years. I mean, he was involved with Madonna at one point.
Right, that's right, before he got married, and apparently, allegedly changed his ways. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Stop getting caught.
Yeah, right. It doesn't matter. Here's a random one though. I was at LaGuardia Airport again, like way before this adult modeling kind of stuff. And this is just a weird thing. And he definitely was trying to like be flirty with me. It was so random. Peter Noonan from Herman's Hermits. Yeah, I mean, that's obscure. I can't even believe I noticed, but all of a sudden I looked at him, I was like, God, he looks familiar. And then he started speaking. And then I was like, oh my God, star sightings. Who's the most famous? And I don't even know if maybe you're very famous. I don't know. Like, but have you been starstruck? I mean, has there been a time you've been starstruck?
The one time I was starstruck was well before I worked in entertainment. And I ran into Vinnie Paul Abbott of Pantera fame at a bar in Vegas. And I was starstruck for like half a second. And it was one of those things where like, I was in Vegas. Me and my buddy couldn't get into a club because we didn't have a gang of girls with us and weren't going to pay thousands of dollars for bottle service. So we ended up in like the bar next door in the casino, and we roll in and they're like, they're playing a lot of fucking Pantera. What is going on? And like, I see Vinny in the corner and I'm just like, I am dressed like a douchebag to go to a club. I'm like, I'm not dressed like
what's dressing like a douchebag for a guy?
Clubby collared shirt, couple buttons open, slacks, like, you know.
Okay. So like the kind of almost the Will Ferrell, you know, when he did that.
Night Roxbury, like I was dressed to go to a nightclub, like a Vegas nightclub, not like my normal scumbag metalhead self.
Okay.
And I, go up to Vinny. I'm like, "Oh, hey man, big fan." Like, and I'm like, "Let me buy you a drink." Did a shot with him. He let me buy, bastard.
He probably was getting his drinks for free. I mean, why were they playing all the Pantera, just to like acquiesce or just to like suck up to him because he was there?
Yeah.
Or do you think he requested them? Did he say, "Hey, I'll stay here for 2 hours, but you got to play my music the whole time I'm here"?
One thing I got to admit was amazing about that encounter is while I'm bullshitting with Vinny, like at this point, Pantera's way done. He's playing in Hell Yeah at this point. And he pulls out a laminate for like their new album. He's like, "Hey man, you gotta check out our new album." You're Vinnie Paul fucking Abbott. Like the fact that like, yes, I said like I'm a big fan of yours, but the fact that you have these on you and you're just like, "Yo man, you gotta check out our new album."
Wait, he had the album with him?
No, he had like these like 3x5 like laminate like promotional stuff for the
album. Oh, okay. I was like, what? But do you have like a bag and like, hey.
But still, for him to reach in and just like, stack them, was like, "Yo, you gotta check out the new album."
Nice.
Like, I appreciate the hustle. And the funny thing is, years later, like working in adult, he was always around. So I, definitely partied with him a handful of times after that.
So you became like a contemporary of him. Like, not like...
I'm not putting that out there.
No, but I mean, but like a collegiate kind of feel instead of like a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's really cool.
Kind of, yeah. It's just like, oh, hey, Benny, what's going on? Like, it's amazing because I come from music before I got into porn. And it's wild. I was talking to someone about this recently. Like, I made better connections and more success in music working in porn than I ever did working in music.
That's interesting. So, well, because
rock dudes like porn stars.
Right. And before, if you were in music, they're like, oh, another guy that plays garage band and is...
I was on the production side of things. I ran a small record label, but it's like none of my acts were big acts. It's just like, oh, hey, another dude with an indie record label.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, isn't it fun? Isn't it fun when we cross paths with people that are like, important to us and they're real?
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, you're a real person. And that's honestly one of my biggest takeaways from like moving from the Midwest to the West Coast was, at least growing up in the Midwest, like celebrities in almost any form are like, those aren't real people. Those are like fictional characters. And then like, oh, you work an adult long enough, you end up just running into a lot of celebrities from other genres of entertainment because they think it's novel to be around porn folk.
Interesting. You're making porn sound more attractive to me.
Well, you're in, so I hope so.
I am, but I'm solo. Like, I just do my own stuff.
For now.
I don't know. I was approached by somebody and then I talked to the guy that I work with, PR. And he's like, okay, now that they're going to expect hardcore stuff. And I'm like, sometimes I still am very Midwest gullible. And I'm like, oh, I suppose, right? Then he's like, yeah, they're going to expect you to get fucked by a lot of guys. And I'm like, oh.
It might just be one guy at a time. It may not be multiple at once.
Yeah, I couldn't do some of these clips that I see with, it seems too chaotic. The gangbangs, it's just too much. I'm like, what? All these penises all over the place. What the hell? Well, I mean, bless their hearts, the ones that do it. It's like too much.
I'm sure it was overwhelming for all those women on their first gangbang experience. And eventually they're just like, this old hat. No big deal. What, only 10 dicks today? Where's the other 5?
Now, how many? Okay, so I've seen the whole gangbang stuff with like 5 or 6 or more guys. I mean, I suppose there's a limit, right? I mean, like in a scene, I mean, how many, like 20? Like in a room? Like, I mean, there's only so many people that can fit into a camera scene, but like how many? So is it more that there's more likely to be more guys in a gangbang kind of thing? Because I know there's guys want there to be more women, like in the world of porn. And I'm asking you because I don't watch that much stuff. But I mean, is there some where you have like a harem of women, like 20 women and one dude? Or is there usually more penises around?
Generally more penises because at the end of the day, one dude's not going to be able to perform for that many women.
Yeah.
The logistics of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Like companies like Legal Porno out of the Czech Republic very much specialize in like triple, quadruple anal.
Wait, triple, quadruple? What does that mean? Like
multiple penises in the yeah.
So you're saying 4 or 5 cocks in a butt? In a anal?
Or like 2 or 3 in the butt, 2 in the vagina, like yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. It's fascinating. I'm never going to do that, but
not my cup of tea on what I want to consume, but obviously the business model works for them and they're still doing it.
So could you injure your penis doing that?
Oh, I'm sure everyone involved could be injured doing that.
Like, I mean, just structurally, not no disease issue. I mean,
no, I'm not talking disease. I'm
just talking just functionally,
bending.
Hell, you can break your cock, right?
There's dudes that have broken their cock like boy-girl scenes just one-on-one. So yeah, you could definitely break your cock with multiple thrusting partners at the same time.
Right. That would just seem like that would be innately a problem. And when you break your cock, what's that like?
This dude has never broken his cock. Fuck, I need something wood. I'm not a performer, so I have, well, I wouldn't say vanilla sex, but I don't have porn sex in real life.
Well, wait, if you break your cock, is it like when you break your nose and then it's deviated? Do you think?
Well, so like when you break your cock, you rupture blood vessels and like it balloons from the blood in like bad ways, and
the penis does.
Yeah, like from what I've been led to believe, it is a surgical fix that you need.
Right. But after the surgical fix, because I have a cat that had that done, it's kind of like they call it cauliflower ear. And that's exactly kind of what happened.
I really hope their penises don't feel like cartilage, because that's what happens with the cauliflower ear. The blood calcifies.
That's what I'm saying. And then it kind of shrivels up, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, I wonder what happens. Maybe one of your viewers would like to
break their cock and find out for us.
No, I don't think that's necessary. That seems extreme.
I mean, if they're willing to do it with no compensation or faults of ours.
I think you better talk, Matt.
Yes.
Let's talk to your legal representation about what you're talking about right now. I would say we definitely are saying don't do it. However, if you have done it and you'd like to comment about it after the fact, having nothing to do with us, because we would never recommend this.
Do not, like, I'm gonna have to put on like the full-on jackass warning, like.
Yes. Don't break your cock. Don't break it for us.
Though, if you happen to break your cock,
right,
and you want to come talk about it, I'll have you on for a segment to talk about it.
Really? My God, will you let me know when you have that segment on?
If it ever happens, sure. I'm not sure I can get a full 2-hour podcast out of someone's broken dick, but I'll definitely talk to them for a minute.
Oh, come on now. Don't short sell yourself. I mean,
well, I'm short selling.
Don't you think there's dick. 2 hours in talking about the recovery of a broken cock?
Maybe.
Oh my God. Now that's an autobiography.
Recovery of a broken. I think that's John Wayne Bobbitt's.
Or is that a song? That could be a song.
What genre? Country? My broken cock.
It could be country. That could be Hey, Blake Shelton. Hi. We got one for you.
Could be country. Could be death metal.
Yeah, I mean, especially the screaming.
But that I feel like that's more breaking someone else's cock, not breaking your own. Like, if you break your own cock, it's country. If you break someone else's cock, it's death metal.
If you break somebody, but what if your cock breaks from a broken heart? What if it's that severe? Or what if you get caught? What if it's injured in a truck accident or something?
She broke my heart, then she broke my cock. I don't know.
Right, something about the breaking of the heart was so severe it went down to my cock. Something like it was just that brutal. The breakup was so bad. You work on that.
See, there's a reason I was on the production side, not the performing side of it. As my aunt is like, yeah, Matt's singing. We're turning the episode off. I'm sorry, Elaina, that like people are tuning out now because of my singing. My bad.
That's okay. I sing really terribly as well. And just ask anybody that I've dated or I've lived with. They'll tell you that I'm not a good singer, but I don't care. I will sing.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Well, okay. My favorite song of all time is Suspicious Minds. Like, I just love it. Like, I could sing that freaking all day long. And I could annoy everybody around me with that. But with karaoke, I used to Let's Spend the Night Together, Rolling Stones, because it's fun to be just belting that out. So that's fun. I used to try to do when I was younger, Respect, and that's a hard song. Man, Aretha Franklin, there's a reason she is the queen, or was. She died, right?
Maybe.
Still alive? Aretha?
Aretha, are you still alive? Oh, and to the answer our previous Google results, there are no Culvers in California. They are in fucking Arizona, Colorado.
They're coming.
But there's one in fucking Wyoming. How's there one in Wyoming and not any in California? Bullshit.
They're coming. They're definitely on their way. They're marching closer. So you like the Culvers. What do you like about Culvers?
The curds, of course.
Yeah, the curds are good. You know, the best curds though are the ones that have the really thin, like teriyaki almost, or not teriyaki, the tempura kind of like coating. Because the curds at Culver's are a little bit more bready, not quite as good. You know, the thin, crispy is really the best.
It is. I mean, hell, I'll just eat curds out of the bag, like not even deep fried. Like I'll just no.
Oh my God! So when I had this guy from Venice, and again, you know, Venice and cultured and beautiful, and we went to Lambeau Field, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have a brat. We are gonna have a brat, and we're gonna have cheese curds. We are gonna be, and he was just like, this is like a heart attack on a plate, and I'm like, we're in Wisconsin. This is what we do.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that and just the way he came over and he was like dressed. Again, you're from the Midwest. You understand this. He was dressed very European, you know, like I picked him up. I was like, oh, and those are some orange pants. Okay. And we're near Green Bay. All right. Well,
hope you can fight, man.
I was thinking, I hope I can fight for him. But yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, cheese curds are good. Culver's is on their way. I'm sure they are. Why wouldn't they be? You guys need butter burgers.
We do. But just probably the cost of rent and paying people in LA.
Oh, it could be. And also how the In-N-Out burgers are so that's probably would be a direct competition.
Yeah. In-N-Out would definitely be a huge competition. And like In-N-Out's only good for the price point. Like that's it. It's still just a fast food fucking burger.
Now, are they cheaper? But are they cheaper than like McDonald's? They're more expensive than McDonald's, from what I remember.
They are more expensive than McDonald's, but they're still not relatively like they're much better quality than McDonald's. So like relatively, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck than you are. Like, yeah, you can go get a fucking McDouble for fucking $2 or whatever, but it's like McDonald's is garbage.
Yeah,
In-N-Out's a decent quality burger for $3, maybe $4. So.
Yeah. Do you think your listeners like hearing us talk about broken dicks or hamburgers more?
Both. Next, they want us talking about hamburgers made out of broken dicks. I don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Yeah. Oh, so here's something crazy. You know, one of the sightings that I had, and I was with my kid, and I don't talk about my kid, but a little bit, you know, because I've learned so much about men raising a boy. But I remember seeing, and this is like iconic. And we just watched a Marvel movie last night. And I was like, probably a year before Stan Lee died, went to like an area Comic-Con, and he was there and he was doing the meet and greet. They were really expensive, of course. But at one point, like there was an opening as somebody was leaving. And I'm like, look right there. Remember this. That is Stan Lee. That is Stan Lee. And he is huge. And so he still remembers that. And then, of course, Stan Lee died like within a year of that. But I mean, we've watched this documentary. I can't believe that they haven't done like a real life story on Stan Lee and his, like just a really big picture. Maybe it has to be in development.
There might be, weirdness with his estate on that. Like there's a lot of controversy around Stan as well. So.
Okay. Well, maybe I don't know about the controversy except for the last year.
A lot of the controversy stems around from like Marvel allegedly stealing authors' rights to their characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. But has that something like maybe, okay, I can see where maybe that would stop a story. But I think the coolest thing I heard, and maybe it's just lore, but I heard that when he met his wife, and this one for me, I was like, oh my God, that's a movie. And he met his wife. She opened up the door and he was like, I've been drawing you my whole life.
Baller move, Stan Lee.
And then they were married for like forever. They were married forever. And then she died and he just kind of like wilted. And he was like, I talked to somebody that was like with his entourage. And he was like, yeah, no. And I'm like, God, he's really old to be doing these things. And he goes, no, once his wife died, he's like, keep me from home. I don't want to be home. I want to be out here meeting fans. Just keep me busy. I can't be home. I don't want to think about it. So I was like, whoa, that's a great love story.
Well, that's the crazy about like the older generation's crazy, like institutionalized love stories. Like they're just so intertwined in each other's lives. They just don't know how to go on without the other one.
Yeah, right. I just thought that was interesting because I had watched. Did you ever watch the movie about Wonder Woman, the origins of Wonder Woman? It was called Professor Marston.
I did not, but I know some of them. Like a lot of it's based around bondage.
Right? No, it totally, and polyamory. Right. So it's very timely, and this. So you can get it like on Prime Video, and I watched on Prime Video. And it was starring a guy that was pretty well known. I can't think of him off the hand, but I think he was in Star Trek or something, one of the Chris Pine Star Treks. But anyway, it was fascinating. I tell people about this all the time. I'm like, Professor Marsden and the Wonder Woman, about his wife, his lover, and then they both had kids around the same time, and they were all living together, and there was definitely bondage. So you see them, how they interweave the lasso of truth, and how that came from his involvement in truth telling and the lie detector.
Have you ever been hooked up to a polygraph?
I haven't.
Like they actually put a strap around your chest as part of it.
Right, because isn't it basically they're taking they're
monitoring your vitals.
Yeah, so they go into that and his what he did to kind of further that. Some people say, oh, he invented that, but he really didn't, because he like invented maybe part of it. Like he got, kind of close there. But yeah, so I love the Wonder Woman, the Marvel. I just wish DC would do better with their movies. It's so sad.
They're just not about that life. They're just not about I don't know why, but they're
because they have good stuff to work with, but Marvel just does it so much better.
I think part of it is just the pimp hand of Kevin Feige on the Marvel side. Like, yeah, a lot of these directors are given wide berths of creative control, but all in all, Kevin Feige's like, no, this is the overall vision. This is what it's going to be, where it really seems like DC, they're just kind of like, go wild, do it, continuity, tone, whatevs, just do what you want.
Right, and they're not funny.
They're not funny, and it's tonally, like, some of them are really fucking bad. Like,
yeah,
I know everyone, for the most part, really enjoyed the first Wonder Woman movie.
Yes, me too. Because obviously, like, I've done photo sets. I even did a little video.
Oh, I saw the Wonder Woman cup you're drinking out of.
Yeah, I know, isn't that fun? See, but I actually got a replica costume on Etsy made specifically for me of the Linda Carter one, because that's what I grew up on, and so that was cool. So I put pictures of that all over, but yeah, so I had that, and I actually did a Wonder MILF video with a clear chair.
Nice.
On my OnlyFans, where I was pretending that I was doing like a little sex show for Batman, for Bruce, at his request. And so then I taped it. It's very kitschy. Sometimes I do these vanity projects. I understand what Hollywood actresses do, because sometimes I do stuff just for me, like that. Or when I did one, I got a replica I Dream of Jeannie, evil Jeannie's sister. And I got that costume because I'm like, okay, I can legitimately, if I use this, I can legitimately, use this and deduct the cost off taxes. I'm using this. And then I, took pictures, and I did a video of like a jerk off video of her. Sorry if there's a implication for licensing, but of her helping guys, jerk off as I was masturbating, and it was fun, and it was kitschy, and it didn't sell amazingly great, but you know what? That was my passion project. That was fun for me.
And you got to do that sometimes. As an artist, you have to do that.
Right. And so I get that now when I see actors and actresses do stuff. I'm like, I get that. You get a certain amount of success, and you're like, you know what? This is for me. I want to do this.
Well, and especially when you get to that level and you have so many people like trying to guide and manage your career, you have to do shit for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. So again, I went off on a little thing, but it's fun. Where were we going with the DC comics?
Well, real quick, before we go back to that, I'm curious. Do you think Bruce Wayne tips sex workers well?
Or is it just fun because he's like, but I'm Bruce Wayne?
Bruce Wayne has to be making use of sex workers. He has to be. He is the guy who's running Wayne.
I bet he's into kinky shit, and I bet he's a submissive.
Oh yeah, and on top of it, the guy's running Wayne Tech and being Batman. He doesn't have time for an actual relationship. He just has time to like, Alfred, break out the book. Call.
Yes. Yes. And I bet they're all flavors of the rainbow. Because I would think that he would want to have sex with I don't think he has a type, but I would bet that he gets into some kinky stuff where he is getting tied up and then he can't use his special powers or whatever.
But money is his special power.
What? Right. Yes. It's his gadgets. More so really even than like Iron Man.
Hell, and depending on who's telling the story, Bruce Wayne isn't even inventing his own gadgets. He has people in his R&D department doing it. Tony Stark is at least making his own gadgets.
Right.
Bruce Wayne his only power is being rich.
Right.
Being rich and crazy.
That is true.
I wonder if he non-canonically, of course, but like gets into a hard fight with Poison Ivy or a Catwoman and like hires the sex workers like, okay, you have to put this on.
Oh, sure. You mean to like make himself feel good and to play it out? Yeah. Oh, now who's going to be? Oh, Robert Pattinson's going to be Batman.
Yep.
And here we go again. I don't know. I mean, he was good as vampire guy.
I guess. I was never into the Twilight movies.
So Wonder Woman, fantastic. Her first one. I could watch that whole Paradise Island all day long. And I'm a straight girl, but like that was visually phenomenal. It was so beautiful, that feel that they gave that. And her love story with Chris Pine, Steve Trevor, was beautiful.
Made me angry. That love story made me angry.
Well, what made me angry when they freaking killed him off right away. I was like, that's it?
What made me angry about them killing him off is like I liked the role dynamic where he was basically the stereotypical damsel in distress.
And then she was like, no.
Right. Like she was the stereotypical hero protector of him. But what pissed me off about that shit was in the final act, in the final fight with spoilers for if you haven't seen Wonder Woman for whatever reason, when she's fighting Ares, she's losing the fight and then Chris Pine dies and like, oh my God, my man died. Now I have the strength to defeat you. That shit pissed me off.
Like, yeah. Well, it's kind of like the whole mother lifts a car off a child. Because the adrenaline rush, don't you think that's kind of what they were like? Oh,
yeah, but they didn't need that. She should have just been winning.
Yeah, she should have been just winning. It is weird when somebody that's part God,
who's been trained for this her whole life. Her whole purpose in life was to beat this dude, this one dude. Oh, that dick I had a couple times is really what's going to inspire me to win this fight. Not my lifelong training, not avenging my mother, not avenging all the Amazons. That one dick. And now that it's gone, I'm going to kick your ass, bro.
I guess I was too stuck on being mad that they killed him off and being that didn't even piss me off as much as I was like, no, did she even hear what he said? Oh my God, no. And I was, but the second movie, God, talk about mad. That second movie pissed me off for so many levels, and it could have been so good. I grew up in 1984. That was my time. Like, I lived that time. But again, freaking Captain Marvel did it 20 times better. It was terrible. And it was icky. There was an icky factor that Chris Pine's body, like he was in somebody else's body, but then she was like with him. And then, then he got sucked back out and he was, oh my God, I hated it.
I didn't even bother with it. I saw the trailers and like, yep, that's going to be real bad. Never mind.
Yeah, well, you were right. And I know a lot of people felt the same way. And it's so sad because, gotta agree. I mean, as far as personality, Gal Gadot is She is a star. She is wonderful.
She is wonderful, and I would crawl over broken glass for a night with her.
Yeah, and she's not only gorgeous, but she just seems like fun.
She seems like a really cool person. And like, if shit ever went down, she was in the Israeli Defense Force. She can defend me.
Right. And at first I was like not so sure because she was not as full figured as because again, brought up on Linda Carter, right? I was kind of hoping for that kind of Amazon that was just curvy and stuff. But then I got over it once I watched her and I was like, this is awesome. So are there there must be one in the works right now for a Wonder Woman 3.
Or another Justice League or something. They're just going to keep throwing money at it until this bubble on superheroes eventually bursts.
Oh, you think when is it going to burst?
Who knows? Who fucking knows? Marvel is definitely acting like it's never going to. But at one point, like, Westerns and musicals were all the fucking rage. Eventually, people are going to be over this shit.
Right. That's interesting. Well, do you think so? At one point, they thought musicals that were going to come back. I don't think that there was that La La Land or something.
Well, the occasional musical comes back and like does well. Of course, a movie that is all about succeeding in Hollywood is going to do well for the Oscars.
They're like, yay! Like, it's about us.
It's about us. Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling have great chemistry together and are really charming individually. Of course, that was going to do well.
Yeah. But it did not prompt a whole lot more.
Well, and there's been some great Westerns since like the, end of like Westerns being a mainstream genre. Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven is a phenomenal film. Won Best Picture of the year. Doesn't mean that like Westerns are coming back hard.
Right.
So I have a feeling like the superhero genre never went away. They've been making superhero movies to one degree or another for a long time before the MCU. Blade got a whole trilogy. That's a Marvel character.
Now, have you seen the new, I'm looking forward to the Eternals.
I've heard mixed reviews. I'm going to go see it.
Okay. I just think visually it seems really interesting. I don't know any of the backstory, the origin stories, or any of that kind of stuff, but it just visually, it looks really appealing and kind of like take me away, get me into a different kind of a pretty planet. I mean, but you got Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie. It's like, it's kind of visually pretty, right?
Definitely. And that is one thing Marvel has done really fucking well is they're like, yeah, obscure Marvel characters no one gives a fuck about. We'll make you care about them.
Yeah.
Did anyone give a flying fuck about the Ant-Man before Paul Rudd was playing the character? No,
but Paul Rudd is very engaging. I will say though, I watched Black Widow and I'm all about women on screen, all about women empowerment, but it was a tough movie.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not great.
Yeah, it was. I would say her sister in it actually kind of shone a little bit more. She was good. She
was phenomenal. And like, she's going to obviously go on within the MCU. Have you ever seen Fighting With My Family?
No, what's that?
It is believe it or not, a WWE biopic.
Okay.
Where it's based on the story of Paige, who very much made a huge impact in women's wrestling.
Okay.
And the same actress who plays Black Widow's sister plays Paige in it. And basically...
I think her name's Florence Pugh or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh plays Paige, and Paige's background is she's the daughter of a independent wrestling promoter from the UK who's also a wrestler. Her mother was also a wrestler. Her brother was also a wrestler. Like, her whole family were professional wrestlers. And she was able to make it in the WWE and be multiple time world champion. But it was kind of her origin story, growing up in this poor Carney-esque.
Yeah, and that would be kind of a Carney-esque. That's an interesting term. The other thing she was in, because I had to look it up. I don't know if you're watching movies and then you go why does that person look so familiar? And then you have to Google them to see what else they were in. And then it's I become kind of stuck on that until I figure it out. She was in Little Women.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She played kind of a nice one of the innocent sisters or something in the latest incarnation of Little Women.
Isn't that still a number of years old?
Yeah, it might be a couple. Not much. We're not talking the Keira Knight one or what.
Okay.
We're talking one that was Come on, audience. No, it was more recent. It was only a couple years old. I can't remember who the main gal was. I'm sure she would love to know that, but yeah, so that there was that. I miss going to the movies though. Are you going to the movies like in person?
I've been to one movie since like things have started to reopen. I went and saw Shang-Chi.
Oh, you did? That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I would have too if it wasn't, I'm just not going to movies yet. I have a kid that's not old enough to be vaccinated. I'm somebody that's going to get him vaccinated. And I'm just like, darn, we got this far.
You can't get your kid a fake ID? What's going on?
Well, no. Yeah, no, I don't think that works. I don't think you can do that for vaccines. Do people do that? Have they been doing that?
I'm sure somebody is.
Fake ID. Were you talking about that with somebody else on? Because I heard some other like talk show. They were talking about a fake ID for the COVID vaccine.
Well, I mean, people are definitely forging vaccine cards. This is the first time I ever mentioned faking a government ID to get your vaccine early.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. What a crazy world we're in. But, I'm grateful for it because I don't know, the whole OnlyFans, I don't know if that would have been as popular. Now I got in on it late. So I got in at late after seeing how other MILFs were making a lot of money. And I was like, wow, maybe I could make some money, and I saw them and I'm like, and they're not perfect and their boobs aren't, because my boobs aren't perfect, but boy, guys like them, and they're natural. And, but before I started doing this, I was self-conscious about a lot of stuff, about not looking like the cookie cutter. And so I wonder if before the COVID thing, I don't know if I would have, if OnlyFans would have gotten this attention. Certainly wouldn't have grown as big as it has.
Definitely wouldn't have grown as big. And I think part of the reason for OnlyFans success is the access to you. It's not just they're seeing you do your scenes naked. It's also like, oh, hey, I am directly paying you money and I may get a chance to interact with you. And I'm sure there are a lot of dudes in the back of their head like, oh, there might be a chance that like I could actually.
Yeah, I get that. Because they ask, or they'll be like, hey, and so there are restricted words on OnlyFans. One of them is meat, because you can't solicit prostitution. And I'm not a prostitute. So, whatever, it's no judgment. But so I would never like try to do that. But there are certain words. Young is one too, which I thought was interesting. You can't like, even if I would write something to a fan and I'd say, well, when I was younger, I can't. You're using a restricted word. Meat is a restricted word. So what people go around it and put M33T. But yeah, guys will be like, hey, like, do you ever meet up with your fans? And I'm like, nope.
But there are definitely other OnlyFans.
But they get to know me,
They get to know you. And there are definitely other people on OnlyFans that probably are.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, if the illusion that there's a possibility of it still there, people will probably continue to spend the money. Just like dudes at strip clubs. The likelihood of that dancer going home with you is 0.001. But that
there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a chance. I'm the exception, not the rule here. I can make it happen. Like, yeah, dudes are dumb. Dude.
Yeah, well, and because, well, I guess there is a chance, but there's also a chance that you can be with a Hollywood star too, but not a good chance.
Right, but as long as dudes think that it's within the realm of possibility, because being able to interact with you is still one step closer than watching traditional pornography and trying to interact with you on Twitter.
It is interesting because one of the things that's surprised me is how often my guys like seeing me in more of my natural state, not made up. They'd rather see me like, I mean, one of their favorite picture, I remember them just being like, oh my God, that's so hot. I was eating a Cheeto in my kitchen and I just thought it was funny. I was like, naked, by the way, but it wasn't like I was wearing a sweatshirt. So I was naked, but I just took a selfie as I was just like, Cheeto, and they loved it. So like, they really like that, and they really like me wearing glasses, which, because you're wearing glasses and you're a producer, the freaking glare, if I could figure that shit out, I would be much happier, because anytime I'm wearing glasses.
Oh, yeah, the monitor's right there. The monitor is right in the reflection, right there.
Yeah. So what do you have, a ring light?
Mm-mm.
No, you have like block light or something?
So I use a dome diffuser.
Oh, a dome diffuser.
Yep.
So that's a little bit better, but still you have the reflection. So I had ring lights, like these long light things. It's just easier if but a lot of times I do wear my glasses, and I just kind of make sure that I tilt my head in a way that doesn't.
Well, yeah, the angle I'm sitting at, like, barely you're reflecting.
No, you're good.
But I'm also like arms distance from the monitor right now. Like when I'm normally doing these in person, yeah, there's no reflection.
I need a lighting person. I try, like I do everything by myself. So it's also difficult. And sometimes, some of my fans will be like, oh, it'd be really great is when you're doing a scene and you could do it from like this, and then you can move it. And I'm like, I'm doing this by myself. Like I don't have a team. So I try to make it realistic, because again, I'm a solo creator. I'm not having sex with anybody. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm not. And so sometimes I'm having to be really creative with the angle of a camera, or like from underneath, and still make it look good and make it look kind of realistic. And, but I don't have this swinging thing of, being able to. If you
really want to spend a bunch of money, which you can buy programmable, motorized dollies and shit like that.
Oh my God. Wouldn't that be crazy? That might be distracting for me.
It's like, well, because you can, if you have a gimbal and then like a motorized slider, you really could just like.
And would I just program it? But how would I know like that I'm like standing at the right time for, because it's all
you generally can hook the camera up to a wireless monitor and like have the wireless monitor outside of the sight line of the camera, out of the angle. So you can quickly glance over and make sure that you're in frame and you're in focus. If you want to get crazy with it.
Oh my gosh. There's just, the production part is tough. Like to the point where I asked actually a guy friend of mine who I dated 20 years ago. I was just like, can I just use you for a stunt dick? Like, cause I get asked to have sex on camera sometimes. And he's like, I'm not comfortable with that. So, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I mean, I do get it. If you're not making a living at this, and this is a thing, like a lot of my fans are like, well, I would volunteer. And I'm like, yeah, but but I said, you don't understand what you have to go through to be vetted. Like, I need your ID. I need you to sign paperwork. I need to kind of make sure that, you're okay. And I kind of have to be kind of attracted to you too. So, but just the legal stuff, they don't understand, because I'm not doing anything illegal, and I need to make sure that I've got the model release and that they're tested out, that they're not going to give me something I don't want. You know what I mean? But they're like, oh, I would totally volunteer. No, you might not. When it really comes to it, you might not. And plus, then you got to perform.
You got to be able to get it up, keep it up on camera, stop, start, pop when you need to.
Right.
It's not an easy job. There's a reason that there's only a handful of dudes that you see in every fucking porn, because only so many people can fucking do the job.
Right. So even though I'm just kind of low budget OnlyFans solo, I would need you to perform like you're performing, and if you're telling me that you're getting off on my pictures and you're not even buying my damn videos, then I don't know how far you'd get if you were here in the real thing. Like how much could I get on camera?
Is your dick aesthetically pleasing?
Because they all aren't. I do dick ratings. I see a lot of dick. They are not all made the same.
Yep. Not every, like, could you be a model? Well, could your dick be a model?
Right. Could your dick be a model? And, here's the thing too, and a lot of creators, and they don't really talk about, obviously we're not going to, but it's just like, really? Are you sending me your dick pic, like without some kind of tip? Like you're thinking that this is going to be like, oh.
This is something we've discussed on the show multiple times. Like, we're not certain, but like the consensus is it's two things. It's one, the dumb male mindset of like, well, if I got unsolicited, nudes from someone I was attracted to, I'd be thrilled about it.
Right.
And two,
yes.
The gross dominance thing of like, that's right, you have to see my fucking dick because I sent it to you.
Right. I've subscribed to you. I don't think it's for me, for my guys. I don't think it's that. I think it's like they're offering to me of. But it is. It's like they're offering like, look at how happy you make me. Look at, and it's like, or, oh my God, sometimes I get their cum shots, which is, again, I mean, I guess it's flattering, but, but sometimes I'm in it. Sometimes and if it's a video that they bought, okay, I guess I'm more happy about that. But yeah, the unbidden, especially when they're a new subscriber and it's just like, well, nice to meet you. I mean, I really haven't gotten many face pictures, but I've seen a lot of dicks. And not just for like ratings, like just as a, how do you do? Well, hi, Elaina. I'm new here.
I'm new here. This is my penis. This is what I'm stroking thinking about you.
And then some guys are like, do you mind that I get hard and I stroke off to you? And I'm like, honey, that's the point. Like, that's okay. You wouldn't be here if you weren't.
I mean, they could be critiquing your film technique.
I don't think so.
Like,
I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, some of them are pretty good, I think. I try to be really creative. Like that invisible chair, I was really proud of some of my techniques. Like I took the camera underneath at one point.
Nice.
And this is where I got detailed. I had a clear dildo and a clear acrylic chair. I was really in the whole Wonder MILF thing. I was really proud of that.
You were in the Invisible Mile High Club?
No, what's that?
Well, she flies the invisible jet, so.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. There you go. I was like, what? That's a thing? I love that.
Well, it is now.
Hey, you know what they didn't bring? I don't think they had the invisible jet.
They didn't. They definitely didn't.
They haven't done that. They haven't incorporated that.
Nope.
The other thing they haven't done is the Wonder Twins. Do you remember the Wonder Twins? Do you remember the Justice League?
Yeah, but that was the Wonder Twins were just invented for Super Friends.
Oh, was it?
I don't think they were actual characters before Super Friends.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like the Wonder Twins were invented as like the kid stand-in. Like, hi kids, this is your stand-in characters, the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, right. Well, kind of like the Ewoks when they brought them in on the third movie. Like, oh, we have to do merchandising. Hey, let's bring in these characters.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. With my kid, I decided, like, we're going to watch all the Star Wars movies, like from start to finish, all 9, like in like every weekend for a number of weekends. And that was really fun to see them like the way I saw them. So it wasn't like you're supposed, it wasn't the
chronological order. It was
it was more like how I saw them, like 1977, the New Hope, and then the way it should be done in my very judgmental kind of way.
The prequels hold up better than they should, but it's really just weird to me that like you had the look of Star Wars, and then when you rolled out the prequels, you're like, yeah, we're not going to go with the classic aesthetic, even though this takes place before.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think about it just visually in that, man. I mean, here's the deal. I remember watching the first prequel after I got back. I had been traveling for work and I fell asleep in the theater during a pod race. And I had been so looking forward to it, but the pod race actually did one of these things where, you fall asleep and your head like flies back because and I think it came down to, I didn't care. I didn't care about these characters. I didn't care about them. And then I went back and I remember this is in the 90s, whenever the prequel came out. And then I watched the first one and I realized like I cared right away. I cared about Leia. I cared about Luke. I cared about their characters. That to me, that was the fundamental, that was the difference.
You care about them because like there's better character development. On top of it, you know what's gonna happen with Anakin Skywalker at the end of all this.
I think that was a big part of it too. Yeah, I think that was a big part. He becomes, he's an asshole. So you're like, and he's an asshole kid.
Right. He's a shitty bratty kid. Then when it gets to Hayden Christensen, he's just kind of a prick. Who knows why Padme's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this dude.
Right. And why did they make him so much younger than her?
That's always been in the story, like in the.
Oh, it has that he was little. So that was weird too. But yeah, I mean, bless his heart. He's probably selling. What is he doing now? Like you probably know. You're in the know. Like Hayden Panettiere. What is he, like a manager of a Starbucks? I don't know. What is he? I don't know. Now?
I am. He did
bless his heart.
He did a couple other movies besides Star Wars, but
he did. It didn't work.
The little kid who played Anakin in Phantom Menace just gave up acting. Like he got. After being panned so hard for his performance, he just gave up acting after that.
He wasn't that bad. I mean, for a kid actor, I mean,
he was pretty fucking whiny, but I mean, that might
have been but was he playing that because that's how they wrote it?
Star Wars fans are fucking brutal.
What was that?
Star Wars fans are fucking brutal.
I know. Well, the funny thing is, my kid who's almost 12, he goes, his takeaway, first of all, he loved the prequels because he thought they were hilarious. And he made me get him because then he found out that one of our friends had a T-shirt that said, "I don't like sand." Do you know the famous, like, there's like so it's a meme of when Padme and Anakin are like sitting down and having like a picnic lunch or something.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen. Oh, I've definitely seen the meme.
He goes, "I don't like sand. It gets every place. It's coarse. It's grainy." I mean, my kid could tell you what the exact thing is because he just thought that was hilarious. And it's so stupid, and he just loved it. So then I'm like, sure enough, there are T-shirts out there that say, "I don't like sand." And they're in the Star Wars font, it's hilarious. Yeah, that was a disaster. I just, those movies were just like, and then I'm just crying like a baby when Han and, Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford are back on. And then I'm just like, oh, there they are together.
But the last three were also really fucking bad.
Yeah, but I got past that because of the sentimentality.
But that's what they're counting on. That's what they played you for.
You know what? I was here for it, and I don't care. I was here for it. I got to see them, and then when I read Carrie Fisher's The Princess Diaries, and then for me to realize like the two of them had this major affair during the original, then it just brought a whole nother light. When I watched them together, I was like, they have a real deal history together.
Oh, they do. And my favorite is like one of the interviews with Carrie Fisher, like later in life. She's like, "I've had a good life. I got to bang Prime Harrison Ford."
She did.
But she said it like that.
I know. She was body. I loved her. What a loss when she died, because she was an entertaining celebrity and strong and fun.
She was such a badass. And it's just like gone too soon. But just to be like, yep, bang the Prime Harrison Ford.
Yeah, in the prime. I think that's what a lot of celebrities, like some celebrities, they age really well, but yeah, it's like, right, he was in the prime. I mean, he's still very cool and fun, and he's still married to Callista Flockhart, right?
I think so.
Haven't you been to their house? Hung out?
Not with their knowledge. Let's not talk about that on the internet. That was supposed to be off air. Lena, you trying to get me in trouble here? That's not staying in post.
I'm just a Midwest mom trying to make a living.
Trying to get me thrown in jail.
Oh, I don't know. Do you need any help with that?
Obviously, I've never been arrested.
No. Good. Knock on wood, me either. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it that way.
I just don't get caught. Come on.
Yeah. So what's the picture behind you? It's kind of creepy, but I don't have my reading spectacles on.
Which picture?
Is the guy? Does he have a gun up to his nose? See, right now I feel who is that?
Just some art I found.
It's a gun, right?
Mm-hmm. She's kind of like, doing the hush with the gun to her.
Now I feel like your mom. I'm just like, oh no.
No, my mom approves, so no.
He does?
Yeah. My mom listens to the show, so.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. That's cool.
Yeah, and her biggest takeaway is like, I'm glad to hear that you're having sex.
That's it?
That's her biggest takeaway, yeah.
And that you have a home. You're making a living. It's probably important too. But I'm glad she likes that you're having sex. Or is she close by, or is she still in the Midwest?
She's downstate Illinois.
Oh, okay. That's downstate. That's an interesting. I'm not sure where the line is, but whenever I've traveled down south, there's that point, when you're like, okay, I'm still in the Midwest. It's cornfields. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get gas, whatever. And then there's that point where you go, okay, they're talking different now. Now they have a little bit of a lilt. They have a little bit of a Southern thing happening.
Oh, I like to think it's the minute you get south of I-80.
Oh, okay. So is that like what, normal, and is that normal Peoria or what?
Normal Peoria is definitely south of 80.
Yeah. Yeah. And you start, it's a funny thing when that first time you go, it's a little bit south now.
Yeah. When they start becoming Cardinals fans, it's like, okay.
Oh, that too, I suppose. Yeah. You can definitely tell, like in Wisconsin too, there's the surrounding where you have the mixed of the Vikings and the Packers. And then there's the Bears and the Packers. But then everything up there, it's all Packers.
Well, yeah, you don't want to get lynched.
No. It's a big deal. Like when people, being from Wisconsin, are like, are you a Packers fan? I'm like, I think you have to be. Especially when I lived in Appleton. It was like,
it's not like there's shit going on in Green Bay besides the Packers.
No, there really isn't. And so I lived in Appleton. I actually dated a Packer for a while.
Is that who you're trying to come back and stunt cock?
Oh, he was lovely. He was you know what? And it's not Brett Favre. Just to make that clear. I'm not
that would be wild. Just like, yo, guy from Italy. I used to fuck him. That's why he's important.
Yeah, no, I didn't say. I used to fuck one of his coworkers. No, but that, you know what? I will tell you, like, I think probably a lot of pro athletes, and I've only been with one, but probably get a bad rap of probably being very not generous lovers and not good and stuff. My guy he was really lovely, very generous, good. It's good stuff. No, I'm sure he won't be. And here's the thing. My fans don't want to see me with an old guy. Like the kind of guy that I am going to date in real life, most likely, around my age. I don't know, maybe as young as 40. But like a baby, like you are. But I mean, I'm not going to date a 25-year-old.
Well, no, you're just going to fuck him on film and send him on his way.
Right. But that's what they want. That's what they want. Right. That's what they want to see. They want to see that.
Pack him up, brown paper bag, and send him on his way afterwards.
Right. Here's your lunch. The paper bag lunch.
Here's some bus fare for you. Make sure you get home okay.
No, I'd probably do an Uber.
Aw.
To go home, and there's not a lot of buses here. Right. I'd spring an Uber here. No, but that's the funny thing. Like they would like to see me with a young guy, to do that fantasy. And, not opposed to that, I guess, twist my arm. But the thing they don't want to see me with is a young woman. So I've done polls. I've kind of asked. I mean, it's all kind of nebulous and like I'm just asking right now. But but they'd love to see me with an older woman. So which makes sense, right? If you're into MILFs, what's better than one old MILF? 2 old MILFs.
10. A
regular MILF orgy. Yeah. So, but but not so I was telling an old boyfriend of mine, I'm like, he was talking, he's like, well, I'm never going to do that with you. And I'm like, listen, nobody wants to see that anyway. You're 57 years old. Nobody wants to see us together anyway.
It's not like it's rings on a tree. They can't necessarily tell the age of the cock if you shoot it POV. Well,
that is funny because I did ask when I asked somebody else about that. He goes, well, I said, it's not like your face is going to be on there. Like your face is, and he goes, I don't know, I'd have to get in better shape. But he goes, but I do shave that area so they wouldn't see that it's all gray. And I'm like, all right, yeah, you'd really have to shave that close because, that would be a thing.
Or you could just dye it.
I suppose. Do guys, wait, now, okay. Do guys in porn dye their pubic hair?
No, most dudes don't have pubes, so.
Right, because it probably gets in the way. So they just shave it. What do guys, oh my God, we should have started on this earlier. What do porn guys, do they get a laser removed? Do they just shave? So then there's stubble, which would be problematic if you're giving a blowjob a lot and you're getting, beard burn.
Well, I think a lot of dudes are shaving it and just shaving regularly.
Okay. They're not getting it waxed?
I mean, I'm sure some of them are getting it waxed. I'm sure some people are getting it lasered.
Yeah.
As I said, never been a performer, so.
Well, yeah, but you've been around the guys.
I will ask some people, but I'm fairly certain most people are just shaving it.
Yeah, they're just
I know in my personal life, I just shave.
Right. Well, that's okay, but you're not on camera.
No.
Professionally, allegedly.
Amateurly, I'm not on camera either.
Really?
Nope.
So that's interesting. So because I've never been on camera amateurly either, like at all, ever. I mean, I think, a couple of phone sex things with guys when they were long distance, but before this, I was never one of those like, oh yeah, let's film us having sex. Like that was never a thing. So that's crazy. But, so you've never done that? Never
had a desire to.
Yeah.
Hell, I was joking about this on Twitter the other day. I accidentally sent my first dick pic earlier in the week.
To
a performer I do edit content for. So we were in Vegas like 2 weeks ago, and while they were out, I decided to do a photo shoot of myself in like the jacuzzi.
Nice.
Like set up my lighting, set up the cameras, and there's a picture of the final product on Instagram of like me smoking a cigar with a bottle of whiskey on like the side of the tub.
And then, but how did the dick pic come about?
So there were I took 141 pictures during the course of that.
Were you drinking heavily?
No.
Okay.
On the same SD card was a bunch of content I shot for her on the same trip. And when she needed it, I just dumped the SD card to a Dropbox and sent it to her.
Ah.
And all of a sudden I get a text back there like, I just went through 100 pictures of you like in a bathtub. Is that your dick floating in there? I'm like, yes, it is. My bad. But if anyone's like, I'm actually going to send my dick to, like, obviously it's not cool. I didn't intend to send her a picture of my penis. But
right.
If anybody's like, well, I edit your porn, so like it's equitable that you've seen my dick now.
Right. And there's a certain point where there's a desensitization. That's awkward, but I've seen so many dicks now, but I also see so much pussy. I see so many assholes and breasts that it's just a day at the office, right? Like, because when I'm doing shout outs with other women and and sometimes they're really like stylized or they're very blurred out or filtered. I've got a little bit of a filter on this because I just saw that there was this like thing. I'm not all the way, but to make you look, I don't know, smoother or whatever. But do you have that? That there's like a little effect? Yeah.
But this is all natural.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm like,
oh, I know. I'm well aware. Like,
because I look a little plastic, I think.
Like,
but there are some.
If you're using skin smoothing mat, it's not working, or you're real bad. Well,
I don't understand why I look so freaking blue because I kind of look like a little bit of an alien, and I'm not sure how to fix that, but it's too late for that now. But no, some of the girls, my God, So I get to see a lot. I see so many, right? I see so many vaginas and assholes and, all the good stuff. So I kind of know my way around that just from visually, like the differences, and there's a lot of differences and it's kind of fun. And then I see a lot of dicks too, but what's my point? My point is it's kind of fun, but I'm also desensitized to it. Like it takes a lot for me to be like, oh, but you were in the production side. So I'm sure it's the same way for you.
I am literally only stimulated by genitals that I'm like consciously aware I'm going to be interacting with.
Yeah. Right.
I watch full on sex happen next to me. And it's just like, whatevs. Don't care. Last time I was on set, me, the lighting guy, and the makeup artist were all on our phones like while the sex scene's happening. We're just like, yeah, whatever. And then me and the lighting guy were commenting about how beat up the couch was. Like, look how bad the couch is sagging. It's hitting the floor.
Yeah.
Like, there are two very attractive people, like, having full-on sex feet away from us. And our biggest takeaway is how beat up the couch is.
Right. And how many people are going to, jack off to that and actively be into that scene. But it's just a day at the office. Like, I totally get that because now, like, I will notice stuff like that too. Like similar thing, beat up couch, or it's like, oh, that's unfortunate. Or when I'm looking at my own photos too, I'll be like, oh, that I forgot to draw the shade, or the shade's goofy there, or that sort of thing. It's a funny business that we're in when we do get desensitized. And I guess that's when guys are like, do you get turned down by, oh, look at, this is my 29-year-old dick. And I'm just like, you're a little old actually from my demographic. I mean, there's part of me that's like, are you kidding me? Like, oh, it's 29. It's like, I've had many 29-year-old dicks, not recently, but when I was 29 or, 30 or 25, it's like, they want a reaction as if I'm going to be like,
It's like they want their dick to be like the third bed in Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Like, this one's just right.
Right. Now, and once in a while, I will tell you, once in a while, I'll see a dick and I'm like, that is a beautiful looking dick. Like there's sometimes they're model dicks. Like they are. It's like the curve. Like I can talk about, obviously this is part of my dick rating that, I do. Now I don't do the ones, and I don't know. I haven't seen many dick ratings. I think the girls probably go a little bit. I'm a little bit more real, and my guys kind of like that. Because I realize that it's kind of an absurd thing. Dick ratings are absurd, right? So I'm naked or I'm topless when I'm doing that. And I'm looking and I'm talking about their dick. And I'm like, and I comment about like, oh, it looks like, I will comment about if I see things in the surrounding, or I'll be like, oh, so you're a boxer brief guy. Like, I'll talk about that. And I know they want me to talk about their dick, but on the same thing, I realize it's absurd what I'm doing. Oh. And I'm not going to be like, oh, baby, I'm going to do this and that and this. No, I'm going to be like, wow, that is a really meaty head that you have. Wow. What's notable about that is you don't have much of a curve, but boy, you're really hard. And the guys say that, like that's the most amusing and most real dick rating I've ever gotten, or that's pretty hilarious, because I realize I can't pretend that it's like something it's not. I have to be real about it because it is absurd. Can you imagine if you were doing pussy ratings? Like literally, you're on camera. I don't know. Do people do that? And you'd be
I don't think people do that. I don't think
wow.
That's a thing.
Look at that labia.
Folks, that is a new service. If you send me your pussy pics and $10, I will rate that puss. That I will do it on the podcast. It'll be bonus content on the Patreon.
Oh my God. Somebody's got to do that. I'm not going to do it.
Right now, I'm offering it. I'm going to rate that puss. $10, please.
Pussy ratings.
$10, please.
Well, $10. Are you going to pay them for that?
No, you're going to pay me. Oh. I'm providing the service.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I saw you stand up there. I need payment. No freebies. I know we're friends now.
Are you going to be naked? Wait, now here's the deal though. Are you going to be naked when you're doing this? Or are you going to be just topless? So you can do topless. You can be full naked.
It all depends on how much they're paying.
They'll pay more for full naked.
Okay, then I'll be fully naked.
So how would you do it? I want how would you do a pussy rating?
Well, first I need to see a pussy to rate. I can't just be like,
you haven't seen one yet.
Not ever.
Can't you summon one up from your memory?
Well, I can summon up taste for sure, but
so, well, that's true. We do remember by taste, right? That's true. And smell, right? That's all part of the.
Well, hopefully I don't remember the smell.
Well, sometimes it smells good.
Well, but generally that's like the whole, partner smelling away. Generally, right. There's not a distinct like, oh, that's the vaginal. No, like if I remember like your smelly pussy, like it's probably not a great memory. Like, oh, I have an ex-girlfriend that like used to wear like a lot of vanilla stuff. I remember like how she used to smell. I do not remember her pussy smelling a certain way.
Didn't it smell slightly like vanilla?
I mean, all of her smelled like vanilla.
Yeah, that's a good smell though. I remember having this perfume that I used to wear, and I don't think you can get it anymore. But God, the guys loved it, and it was like like raspberry and vanilla kind of undertones. Guys loved it. The other one that is apparently it's like anything that has the pumpkin pie spices. That's another apparently that kind of combo is, but vanilla is always kind of known as heady for guys. So I would love to see I am more confident in the way my pussy looks than I was last year at this time.
That's awesome.
I literally thought my labia lips were too big because whenever I'd look in magazines, they all look nice and trim and tiny. The fucking
clamshell.
Right. They look just perfect little,
Well, and I have a performer friend of mine, I know for a fact, got like labia reduction surgery.
Yes. And I heard of this. I remember years ago because, I obviously there's a vanity thing with me. And I remember being like, oh, maybe I should have that done. And I'm like, okay, I have better things to do with my money than to get my labia reduced. But actually, my guys love my big labia.
Well, and also, like, there's nerve endings there. Do you really want to reduce your pleasure?
Well, I guess, yeah, I didn't even think about that part. But, but things change too. I don't know if bigger labias are in more now or it's just always been a subset. Maybe you can tell me, is this always been kind of a subset? Like there are guys that like the longer, bigger labias. Tell me.
I think traditionally visually the clamshell is what people have been shown to be like, this is the beautiful vagina, the beautiful clamshell.
Yeah.
All I know is like in real life, I'm happy to be in the game. Like I have never once been with a woman and like it's gotten to that point and been like, oh, bro, that is like a roast beef sandwich down there. I'm out.
Right.
I'm like, okay, game on. Like,
well, and then I heard this term. I had never heard of it before. Butterfly wings.
Oh, just spreading them and.
Well, yeah, but that, like big ones are like better, like big butterfly wings. And I was just like, I mean, seriously, like I just heard of this within like 4 or 5 months. And it was this revelation. I'm like, that's a thing. That's a term.
Well, at the end of the day, pretty much no matter your body type, there's definitely going to be a dude who wants to fuck you, or probably multiple dudes that want to fuck you.
Right. And see, that's what's so beautiful about OnlyFans and these kind of platforms is because it's not all decided by the editors of Penthouse, Playboy, Hustler, right?
Well, what's even crazy about like Penthouse, Playboy, Hustler, like our generation classical definition of like what
naked woman
of beauty is.
Yeah.
Even those stunning models were fucking airbrushed. They weren't real.
Yeah. Right.
Like they airbrushed Jenny fucking McCarthy.
Yeah, I love Jenny McCarthy. Love her. I kind of, sometimes I think about her when I'm doing some of my goofier kind of like goofball kind of, because she was beautiful, but then goofy. Love that personality, right? It's like, that's what my fans like. They like that I'm funny. They're like, I've heard many times variations of, I come here because you're hot and I love your tits. I stay because you're fucking funny. You're funny and you're fun, like it's more than just looks. It's right. Personality.
And
so I love that. But yeah, the airbrushing. You know, the other thing that I think is so crazy is there are some girls, they like Facetune or whatever their face, that they almost look animatronic. And I'm always, and I don't know these girls well enough so that I don't go on their OnlyFans, but I'm always like, what's on their OnlyFans? Do they do that too? Do they filter their face so much that it doesn't look real? And guys stay on there for that? I don't know. It seems weird to me.
I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know what like someone like that's turnover rate is.
Right.
Who knows?
I don't know. And but then there's that whole, what is it, hentai or whatever, where it's like they are animatronic or they're
anime
cartoon. Yeah. So there's that whole thing. So then I'm like,
okay, e-girl like crossing their eyes with the cat ears and
right. So I guess, you know, if you can do that where it's very cartoonish and that turns them on, because I see those like on Pornhub. I see like the little cartoony things with where they're doing it and they're cartoons. So I guess if that can turn you on, then I guess if you're completely face tuned out, it doesn't really matter. But I am intrigued by your pussy rating. That is a show. Do you think you have enough people that'll send in pictures of their pussies to be rated?
Only one way to find out. That's it, folks. New show, Matt Slayer's pussy rating. I'm gonna talk to the public.
Oh my God. I love this. So what you can offer too is you can offer like, I don't like the 1 through 10. I really don't even like offering that. I'll do a written description, but I'd rather just talk about it. What do you think? Would you prefer doing like the topless video?
Yeah, I can definitely do a topless video. And like, you know, I think I'm rated by, you know, rated in ounces. How big of a load?
How big of a load?
How big of a load I would shoot.
Oh, so what you're going to do ounces?
I mean, how else would you measure fluid?
I don't know. Ounces that's a lot. How much do you come? Do you come multiple ounces? I think it always looks more than it really is.
The average is like a tablespoon, I think, for most men.
Yeah. So that's like what, 3 ounces or something? Why don't you check and then get back to us on that?
Well, I'm just trying to think of a unique rating system.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you ever like saw like the porn rating systems back in the day. It was like flaccid, partially erect, like full like rager was like, I forgot. I think maybe Hustler or Penthouse's rating system on porn.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. I like that. I haven't consumed a lot of porn in my life. But that's a curious thing to me. I mean, I remember like I was raised on Playboy magazines that I found at my dad's house, you know, and that's what was my feeling of what was beautiful. Of course, it was like 70s. So it was a lot of full bush, which is really quite like now. That's very current. Guys are always asking me, they're like, can you do this? And I'm like, I can't, because I got my bikini line lasered 20 years ago. So unless I do a merkin, is that what they're called?
It is,
like
indeed.
Little toupees for, yeah. Which that can't look realistic.
So I was wrong. Men expel between 1.25 and 1.25 and 5 milliliters. So a quarter of a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon, not tablespoon.
See, that's what I thought, because
that seems really low.
It does seem low. But I went through a lot of infertility. I went through a lot of infertility stuff to have my son. So there were times that I would carry like a little vial of donor sperm right here, because you had to keep it like, you know, and then as I went to the doctor to have it turkey basted into me. So yeah, and they were always very small. So I think it just spreads a lot. And I think a lot of times we get used to seeing all this cum all over girls and stuff, and it's not real.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is. But I mean, when you see like a great quantity of it, sometimes it's not. Sometimes, just like blood's not always right or real in movies. Sometimes it's stunt cum.
Sometimes it's Cetaphil, yes.
Yeah. Oh, is that what they use?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. I bought this expensive Bad Dragon cum lube stuff.
It's just Cetaphil, yeah.
Cetaphil. Damn it.
Oh, shit. I pulled back the curtain a little too much there. Shit.
Well, I'm just like, damn it. I spent money on shipping. I didn't have to. You know, I'm from the Midwest. I'm all about being frugal.
Right?
I don't like spending money where I don't have to. I could have just gotten at Walgreens.
You could have. Nothing like, being a PA on set and like having like during sex still like spread Cetaphil on people. Like,
is that what they do?
Mm-hmm. And
don't they shoot it out of something to make it?
Oh no, sometimes it's just a handful and I'm just flicking it on people.
That's what they do. They flick it on them.
Depending on who.
That's the technique.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Huh. Well, yeah, because you want to get it kind of the splattered.
Yep.
Technique. Oh my God, are you supposed to be saying these things?
What are they gonna do? Kick me out of porn? Oh my God, they're gonna kick me out of pornography, folks.
I gave them the secret.
I gave them the secret of the fake cum.
I love this idea of you rating pussies, but you have to be careful because women they have feelings and you don't want to hurt their feelings about their pussies. So this is why I don't do one to like everybody kind of gets a 9. If I am forced to give a number because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. They can't do anything about their dick,
Well, and that's a point I was going to make earlier in the show is like, you have no control over all these things with your fucking dick. It's so silly that us as men are like, take such pride in something that we have zero control over.
Yeah. But it's so hardwired, and just being the mom of a boy, like it's hardwired, that pride in that it is.
I think a lot of that comes from society too.
I'm going to tell you that a lot of that is hardwired because my kid doesn't have a man example. So I get to look at him as kind of like a test case.
But he's interacting with other boys and.
Yeah, but I'm talking about young. I'm talking about before there was like the school influence and stuff. No, I think it's innately a magical plaything.
Well, yeah, because it feels great.
Yeah. I think it's magical, just on a very adult to kind of come away from my momhood stuff. But like, I think dicks are magical. I think it's amazing what they can do. I think it's fun when I'm in a relationship with somebody. I am a hands-on girlfriend. They're driving, my hands on their cock. I think it's fun. I love to be able to look across a room and give a certain look and then know and be told later that my man started getting a hard on or got a full on hard on because I was looking at him with that face like, yeah. Like, I love that.
If we could go right now, we would go. Look,
right.
Yeah, that look. Well, and on the flip side, as a dude, like, I think vaginas are magical. It's like, you have your own ecosystem down there. It's self-contained ecosystem. Self-lubricating, like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, they all have their pros and cons. I mean, and obviously, just being a woman of an age and being a mom and seeing what my body can do. I mean, I never appreciated my body. I've always appreciated for dating, right? But I never appreciated until I became a mom and just was like, holy God, this is magical what my body is capable of. Like it takes it to a whole kind of surreal beyond sex, obviously, another level. But no, I mean, the cock is it's fun. It's a fun plaything. It's like my favorite toy.
But we're also very replaceable by actual toys.
And it's not the same though. I mean, I will become an advocate. I almost feel like I'm advocating not replacing men. There's a place. Although I do remember as a kid, and I have not been able to find this. I think there was something in the lore of Wonder Woman where they put men in like a corral.
I feel like the Amazonians
to breed.
Something like that, yeah.
Right? And I remember thinking, what a great idea that was. Like, at a certain level, I was like, that's really fun. I like that idea. Be like, come on.
We're here to, milk you for your juices, maybe have you open a couple jars, put some high things on shelves and back in your cage.
Yeah. Like there are certain things, I mean, beyond the dick, there are certain things that I do like having a man around. Like right now in my basement, I know there's a dead mouse and I don't want to pick it up and get rid of it. Well, and I'm just like, damn it.
You should put your little man to work.
I don't know. Just I can do like insects. Just those are that and like shoveling snow. That's where I'm like, oh God.
See, this is why you live in Southern California. You don't have to deal with
I
such
know.
things.
Believe me, I did, and I liked it. I know. I'm definitely going to move south at some point, because the weather is just the cold weather. Like I want to live where I can always put flip-flops on to run to the store, even if it's kind of cold. I mean, guys will do that here, but they're usually like 500 pounds and they're wearing shorts and it's the middle of January. And then they're wearing like the Nike slide things. Maybe they're wearing socks. They're usually wearing socks, but they're wearing shorts. Sometimes it's during like a polar vortex.
But then you also have crazy motherfuckers in the Midwest that are still grilling at like 30 degrees too.
Right. Well, is that crazy? I guess
yes.
that's a judgment call.
Yeah, as someone who's lived on the West Coast for 10 years now, I can't handle 30 anymore. So yes, that's crazy.
I know. When you have lived in Southern California and then you come back and you're like, people don't have to live this way. We aren't in a penile like a colony. Like we can leave.
Oh, I tell friends in Chicago that I know they're miserable all the time. Like, don't suffer because your ancestors made a mistake.
Right. Or because your ancestors were from Germany or Norway, like mine were, and they went over and they were like, this reminds me of home. I can farm here.
But they made a mistake. They made a mistake.
No, I 100% agree. I've been actually trying to think about like, where's that perfect, and I know there's no place that's perfect, but where's that really good kind of like because I'm not a fan of hurricanes. Nobody's a fan of hurricanes. Earthquakes. You got earthquakes, hurricanes.
You get used to the earthquakes.
Well, yeah. Or unless like with my ex, I remember we were close to John Wayne Airport. And again, I'm the Midwest and I never lived in, I travel a lot, but it's a difference when you're living in California. Right. And I was in the office and I was doing something and I was just like, what was that? What was that? And he's just like, he goes, that was an airplane. And I was like, no, I think that was something else. And he goes, that was an air. And he knew because he was a bullshitter and he knew. And then he was just like, Wisconsin. And it was because then on the news later, they're like, there was a tremor. And I was just like, oh my God. So, it happens, but you guys haven't had a big one, knock on wood.
A couple of years. Like July 2019, we had a pretty big one.
Have you had one where you were scared?
No, but that July 2019 one of my best friends was visiting from Chicago and it was his first time in California ever. And we were leaving my apartment, hit the button for the elevator. As we're standing and like waiting for the elevator, that's when it happened. Like shook the chandelier. I'm like, wow, I'm really happy about the timing of that earthquake because I literally just finished taking a shit. And the last thing I ever want to do is be on the can in a major earthquake.
What would happen if you were doing that on?
Would it
suck you in or something?
No, but I'm just imagining it could potentially be really messy.
Well, that and probably just like scary because you're feeling very vulnerable sitting there.
Yeah.
What would it be like if you were in the elevator though? That would be
that would have
scary.
been also really horrible. That's why I was really thankful on the timing of it. It was like if I had not taken that shit, we would have probably been on the elevator. And
you would have shit in the elevator.
Yeah.
My God.
That sounds like, the janitorial staff of my building's problem, but sorry.
Would have been a lot. What a way to ingratiate yourself to the staff.
I would have left a tip.
Yeah, that guy, we caught him on camera.
Shitting in the elevator. I would have left at least a 20 on that.
That's a bizarre response.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, you expect someone else to clean up your shit for free?
No, I think just leaving $20 on, I don't know what, okay, listen, I don't know what the proper response is for that scenario. I've really never gamed it out before. Maybe your viewers have some ideas of what the etiquette is.
Yeah, how much do you tip for, like, I mean, I guess if it was really like big and wet, I'd throw down some more, but.
So if you shit someplace, you feel like you should leave a tip.
Mm-hmm. I mean, haven't you ever trashed a hotel room?
No.
Oh, well, yeah, you leave some money behind when you trash a hotel room.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I always leave money behind just because, but I don't like to keep it. I don't like to make it messy.
Well, I don't like to, but sometimes, alcohol and wild times happen. And
yeah, I would probably clean up. One time I woke up after too much Sambuca in Dallas. And I realized I had thrown up in the little side table thing. I must have opened it up and thrown up in there. I was like, but I cleaned it up as best I could.
The worst for me was I was in Austin, and this is when I had status with Delta, so I was drinking before I even got there.
Okay. Oh, right. Yes.
And me and my buddy just start hitting it hard. By 10 p.m., I am trashed. Like, I am just like, all right, I need to call it a night. I am.
Where are you? You're out? You're at a club?
We were bar hopping.
Okay.
Like, we've been drinking all day. Get back to the hotel. I lay down. Immediately get the spins. Just immediately.
Oh, I hate that.
And the layout of this hotel room, like, the walls here, beds here. You have to go around in the bathrooms this way. Like, it's basically sharing, like, the headboard's against the wall that is the bathroom. I get out of bed and run to the corner, thinking the bathroom's the other direction, and just, like, puke in the corner.
Oh, God.
And it was meaty. It was a meaty vomit. I cleaned up as best I could, but I still threw money down on that. Like,
yeah, now see, right. I would clean up. Like, so you're saying you would clean up your poop in the elevator.
In real life, I'd clean it up. For a comedic bit, I'm just going to shit and put a 20 on top of it. Some things we do in the name of comedy here. Come on.
Right. Okay. Good.
But also, if it had been my last night. I don't want to
give anyone ideas.
If it had been my last night in the room, I might not have cleaned up, but it was my first night in the room, so you can't have a pile of vomit just chilling in your room. I mean, I almost puked again, like, getting rid of it. It was just, like, I scooped it all into a garbage can and then poured it into the toilet from the garbage can.
I know, it's kind of making me a little ill too. And I think you might want to, if, like, when you play I don't know, are we live?
No.
Okay. So when you play it back, you might want to put, like, a little warning. Don't be eating. You're not going to warn him?
Nope.
Going to let him gag?
Yep, it's a meaty vomit. It's all whiskey and barbecue.
Oh, whiskey and barbecue puke.
Yeah. And maybe a slice of pizza. Yeah, we hit it hard. We definitely hit it. For whatever reason, every time I go to Austin, I end up hitting it real hard.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, you were having fun, and Austin can be a really fun city. So, I mean, I can understand.
It's definitely a really fun city, but unfortunately can't have unprotected sex there anymore. So less fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that was ever advised even before the whole abortion thing, but there's a whole nother reason not to, but
I mean, it happens sometimes. I mean, it definitely happened on that actually same trip on a different night, not the same night. That would have been really awkward. Like, hey, babe, just do the corner with the
oh my God. I'm sure that happens. I've spent my 20s and part of my 30s having a good time going out. It's like, that's so out of my realm now.
But why?
Because I'm older and I don't like getting hangovers. I mean, I'll get a little buzz, get some moms and wine and stuff, but
it's because you're out of practice. If you stayed in practice, you won't get hangovers.
There comes a point where you're just like, eh. I mean, there was just a bit on that with Saturday Night Live when they had Kim Kardashian and they had all these moms and they're like, yeah, we're going to have our time. We're going to go out. We're going to party. And then one of them's like taking a nap at the club. And the other ones are just like, these shoes are killing me. And I totally related to that. I mean, I had my fun. And here's the deal. Like, I had my fun. I sowed those wild oats. I don't need to do it again. I did the partying and on tables and watching other girls fall off and hit their head on a radiator in Milwaukee. Like, I did that. And now it's like, yeah, I did that. And now I do other things.
See, I'm just not stopping. I'm just
have sex with myself on camera. I didn't do that in my 20s, but I do that in my 50s.
You could be doing both, though.
I know, but if you don't want to do something,
well, yes, don't do it then.
Right. Like if I wanted to do that.
Oh yeah, you could go do it.
Yeah.
You might be a nice stunt cock.
I mean, that's probably where I could find a good stunt cock. I don't know though, but you raise some really good issues about, just because they look good doesn't mean they can perform.
Trial and error.
On camera.
Trial and error. It'll be a fun science experiment for you.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to your pussy ratings though.
Glad someone is, because boy, this might be a lot of work.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you think is going to be the first thing that you're drawn to? Because I always talk about the head. I always talk about them because that's, that's a big part of it. And when I'm doing dick ratings, I'm always kind of thinking about it as a woman. How is that going to feel? How would that feel going into my mouth or into my vagina? Because there are some guys, as you know, that have like torpedo dicks, right? And then, they get wider in the middle, and that's got to be a different sensation than if their head is the biggest part. So that is part of my, I don't like to even call it rating, but that's what it's called. In fact, at one point, I remember when I was new to this and I had decided, I'm like, I'm not going to call it a dick rating. I'm going to call it a cock appreciation video. And they just continue to call it dick rating. So I was like, okay, we'll just call it.
The branding is strong on dick rating.
Yeah, right. That's exactly it. But wouldn't you rather have your cock be appreciated? I just thought that was just such a more fun thing.
I mean, I prefer my cock to be appreciated in person. So I've never had the desire to like, hey, anonymous person I masturbate to, please rate my penis. Like, I would much rather someone like that. My penis is going to be going inside of appreciated in person. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with you. The funny thing is though, I mean, this whole thing is funny. The whole idea of that is funny, as I've mentioned. But with the whole, I remember once in a while, a guy will be like, do you want to see it soft or do you want to see it hard? And I'm like, I want to see it hard. Like,
nobody wants to see a flaccid penis. That whole thing with the sending my client 141 dick pics. It's all flaccid. I'm in a bathtub.
Oh, it's flaccid.
Yeah, like I wasn't like taking sexy time photos of myself. I was taking I wanted to stage a picture of me in a bathtub, like smoking a cigar, looking like a pimp. I wasn't taking sexy time photos. It's just my angle was bad because I was shooting myself. And you just had I figured with the jacuzzi jets going, even though I was naked, it wouldn't matter. But no,
so you took it and you were like, oh shit, you can see my dick.
Oh yeah, and that's why the one that went on Instagram's cropped.
Right, good, because that would definitely get you in trouble.
Because I definitely edited and cropped it and there's my dick. I just literally forgot that they were on the SD card and dumped a whole SD card to a Dropbox.
Yeah. So when you were taking the pictures and you were in a jacuzzi, so now you've got the element of water. Did you have did you use a timer or did you have a little clicker?
So my camera I can use through an app on my phone. So you were the Wi-Fi on my phone. So you can see my left arm is I look like I'm leaning back, but my left arm is actually out of frame, triggering the camera.
Yeah. Because that's always the thing. Sometimes I'll do my pictures where I've got a little clicker, but then that LED light will sometimes, so I got to be kind of careful. And then sometimes if I'm doing this, then it looks like it's a claw and that looks awkward. Sometimes I do timers, which sometimes I'm pretty impressed with the photos that I get with the timer because I have to press that and then I have 10 seconds to get into a pose.
You should be doing a camera where you can trigger the timer from your phone.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But usually my phone is my camera.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. This is what OnlyFans girls often do. Like most of us use our cameras.
I know.
On our phone.
I edit people's OnlyFans content. I'm painfully
Oh,
aware.
you do? Wait, you edit their OnlyFans content?
I edit some people's OnlyFans content, yes.
Huh. And these must be the like big important girls?
I think so.
Yeah, well, no, I mean like, top performers or whatever.
Hey, I'll edit for anybody if they can pay my raise.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's interesting. So when you do that, is it everything? Is it boy, girl? Is it?
Depending on the client. Like a lot of my clients edit a majority of their own stuff, and then it's just like when they get swamped, like, hey Matt, can you knock this out for me? Like, yeah, no problem.
So what are the things that you're editing, Matt? Like lighting, the sound?
Like one client will often shoot on 2 phones on tripods. Oh, so I'm switching angles. Especially with her stuff, I'm sometimes cropping it in.
Okay. So yeah, you're doing a lot of like dicing and splicing. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So she'll do like one maybe close up of the insertion or something, and then
on one of the scenes, I don't know why we're getting so technical on this, but one of the scenes was like a wide on a tripod, and then like the male talent holding the phone POV.
Yes, I've seen that. Right.
So like I'd be cutting
the POV.
Yeah, I'd be cutting between the wide and the POV. But with that particular client, the suncock doesn't want his face on, so I like have to crop in the frame a little bit to keep his face out of the frame, but keep his dick in.
Yeah. Right. No, I think this is interesting, and anybody that's watching this. I mean, if I was a consumer of OnlyFans stuff, I think I'd find this interesting because I don't think the guys think about it enough, but some are really genuinely interested because sometimes I'll give them my backstory. I'll be like, oh my God, that was so hard because I fell off the sofa right after that. Or like I was doing that and I forgot I didn't have, you'll notice I like looked to the side twice because I realized that one of my curtains was open as I was doing that scene, and a car drove by and I was like, oh no. So yeah, my guys kind of like knowing those little, I don't know, it's kind of like the
inside baseball of it.
Yeah, that and what are, like those things in movies where they show the
blooper
outtakes.
Reels.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. They kind of like that. It's kind of fun. So that's interesting.
Yeah. It's, and it all depends. Like I have another client where pretty much all I'm doing is doing a little sound correction and adding transitions.
Sound correction? Mm-hmm. So you're doing like, you're not adding, like you're not moaning for her or anything.
I totally am. Oh, give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, don't stop. Give it to me. Don't stop.
Oh, she's such a pretty little blonde, but she sounds so manly.
Oh, right there, baby. Oh, don't stop. Don't stop. I'm coming. No.
And then by accident, you go like, yeah, you've got my dick. What? Oh, no.
No, it's stuff like I will put a noise gate on the audio track in case there's a fan, shit like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Huh.
Which is probably above and beyond what they're paying me to do in some cases, but I professionally audio edit, so it's kind of like this is the kind of stuff I do on the podcast too, so it's just second nature for me to like do that kind of audio cleanup.
Yeah. Now, I was watching this this person, she was talking about how she does her podcast on YouTube. And I thought it was interesting. She was talking about how when she started doing it, she would take out all the ums and the pauses. Like, do you do that?
To a degree. So I used to be much more religious about it.
Yeah.
But since we've moved to video, hey audience, welcome to what my workflow looks like.
Right. Plus it would be harder. It would be choppier because all of a sudden I'd be like this and then I'm going to be here, or I'll be like, eh.
So on the in-house studio versions, it's a 3-camera shoot. So I can cover a lot of edits with cutting to the guest camera, cutting to my camera, cutting to the wide.
Sure. Like they do like on 60 Minutes when they're having interviews.
Well, a lot of times with like 60 Minutes in interviews, they'll do a jump cut to a similar angle and just tighten it in a little more.
Okay.
This is like, we're talking, but on the video version, it would just be my face and then it would cut to you. If there was a long pause there, I would just cut to you. Mm-hmm. And no one would be the wiser. But because this is a Zoom show, and both of our faces are on camera this whole fucking time, there's there's a lot less of that. But the way I do my workflow is I do all the like basic audio corrections, like adjust the noise floor, adjust the gain, de-ess it, all that fun shit. And then I will drop it into Premiere, and I'll have 2 audio tracks. One that is tied to the video. The secondary track will end up being the audio version. And there'll be times where I'll just cut the long pause in the audio version. And then when I'm done with the video edit, I'll take that audio track and just render that audio out. If anyone cares how I edit this podcast.
You know what, though? I think they do, because like if I'm listening to this, I think that's interesting stuff. All right. And then I see on the back, you've got like the eggshell cartons or whatever. Is that for the sound?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that is actually the normal studio. That is a green screen. That is not real.
Behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really good.
That actually is my living room. That is the actual like studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, the eggshells are there for recording sounds, and that is actually my art. So
yeah. So it's not like you're taking a picture and you're in Graceland in the jungle room.
Normally, for the virtual shows, I had a bar for the background. And I'm like, I bought all this art recently and put up the eggshells. I just literally 10 minutes before we took the show, took a camera out to the living room, took this picture.
Well, it looks really realistic. I never would have known.
I'd hope so. It's my literal real background for normal shows. So.
I know, but like if the sizing is off, it can throw, like sometimes I notice people use those backgrounds and they have like a background, but then the size, the ratio looks off. So it doesn't look real.
I mean, because I know what it actually looks like. I think the ratio is off, but
oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we'd all have to come to your house and see it.
Well, next time you're in LA, you're more than welcome to.
Well, now that you're doing pussy ratings,
$10, please.
$10. That's it for topless pussy.
Yep, I will.
I really would advise you to. Well, it's a different thing. I just don't want you to dumb down our pricing in the OnlyFans dick model. I don't think it's going to be
capitalism in action, yo. Capitalism in action.
Right, exactly. It's like what is a fair market value? Whatever the market is willing to pay.
Yep. I'll do dick ratings for $10 too. I mean, I don't care.
You will?
I don't care.
Oh my God. Now here's the question. How many of each will you get? If you say that you're open for dick ratings and pussy ratings, how do you think because what's your demographic for people listening to this?
Well, it's mostly heterosexual dudes, so they're probably not going to send their dick ratings to me.
I don't know. They might.
And at the end of the day,
you're a professional. You've seen a lot of them.
I have.
You're an expert.
I don't know if I would categorize myself as a dick expert, but sure. I'll put that on my LinkedIn right now. Per Elaina St. James, I get an expert dick endorsement on my LinkedIn. I'm sure that'll look good to future employers. I mean, I'm comfortable enough in my heterosexuality that I don't care.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be like, oh, baby, that is a dick. That's, like.
But I have a feeling the people that, would send me their dicks for dick rating are probably homosexual men and, like, would want me to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. Hey, let's see which you get more of. I mean, this is the thing. Guys always are asking, they're like, oh, I should have my own OnlyFans. I'm like, well, the amount of dick pics that you send me, maybe you should. But here's the deal. You can do that. I'm not your target audience. I'm not going to be subscribing. And neither are my friends.
Nope.
It's going to be gay guys, right?
Yep.
I mean, is that too stereotypical? But I'm always like, I just don't think we are not the consumers of this.
I don't think you
stuff.
are either. I mean, I was talking to a comedian on the podcast a couple episodes back, and he's just like, man, if I was a hot chick, I'd make so much money. I'm like, what's stopping you from just doing it now, man? Well, I'm going to have people hitting me up that I don't. I'm like, yeah, you think the women that are doing OnlyFans are being hit up by their ideal sexual partners in every situation? No. It's a job. So if you put your money where your mouth is and put that dick on film, if you think if you were a hot chick, you could make all this money.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I mean, I love what I do. It's really fun. And it's still very amusing to me because I'm this age and because I know my flaws, like physically. But again, my fans like, because they know I'm enjoying it and they know that I'm kind of getting a kick out of it. And I think it's kind of funny and it's amusing to me that I'm doing this. It's kind of like, hey, this is kooky. Want to have some fun? Like, come watch. It's crazy. I do my little flash and chats every week where I just talk about random stuff. And then I just take off my shirt and I play with my boobs a little bit. They love that because it's, like I'll kind of ramble. They're like, it's almost like if I was with a hot chick and I was dating her and we were just like at her house and she took off her top and she's just talking casually about stuff that's going on. And I'm like, well, yeah, part of that is because I know that you're more inclined to listen and pay attention to me when I am doing that. Like, even when I know I'm rambling to my fans past maybe 2 minutes, I know that, oh, hey, wake up. I've just taken off my top and now I'm massaging my boobs. And now you're engaged again.
Exactly. Yeah. So the magic of tits. The magic of tits.
They come in handy. Whenever my guys will say something like, oh my God, I love your tits. I love them. And I'm like, I take them every place I go. It is so corny. It's almost like a dad joke. It's like every time I write it back to them, I kind of giggle because I'm like, yeah, I like them too. I mean, hell, it would be really sucky if they weren't there because it's a good thing.
I wholeheartedly concur.
Titties are a magical thing. Dicks are magical.
They all are. The human body is both disgusting and magical all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not as intrigued by, and I've just never been like the anal thing, but to each their own, and there definitely are better looking. I mean, again, I see a lot of girls' assholes. I don't see many guys' assholes. You know what they never asked for? I've never been requested for an asshole rating.
Yeah, most people don't want to show off their hemorrhoids.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Nope. That's between me and my proctologist.
You'd think it would be a thing. I mean, because guys love looking at, there are guys that love looking at my asshole. And I'm always like,
but
really?
Yeah, but they're in their mind fantasizing about penetrating it. Unless they're fantasizing about you penetrating them, there's no interest in having their asshole rated. Because when you're rating their cock, they're fantasizing about it going inside you.
Right. Yeah. No, it's perfect. Makes perfect sense. The thing when you're talking about toys and penetrating, the other thing that I realized that there's this whole industry, like this the Fleshbot, right? Fleshlight.
Yep.
Yeah. Fleshlight. Right. That whole industry of the stroker industry. And I don't know what like percentage of toys are strokers. I think that's the generic, like all-encompassing term. Like, I don't know how big that business is. Perhaps you do. And that's not just on a personal, it's just because you're in the business. I don't want to allude that you have a collection of strokers, but
I do not, sadly. I masturbate with my hands like an old-fashioned, like the old-timey masturbator.
Yeah. And honestly, that's what I usually use too.
My hands?
Not your hands.
I was about to say, like, when did that happen? Like, was I asleep for this? I don't remember that happening.
I use your hands. Yep. Yep. It's a weird break-in situation.
I mean, I definitely woke up wondering what was on my hands this morning. I guess that answers that. So it was a hard drinking night last night.
Yes, Mr. Slayer. How can we help you, LAPD? Well,
I'm a dude. I can't file that crime. They'll get left out of the station.
You don't think you could file that crime? Like, this chick came in and used my hand to masturbate.
Yeah, the cops would laugh me out of the station. Yeah, whatever, man. Get the fuck out of here. We got real crimes to solve.
Yeah, the stroker thing, that's a fascinating business to me.
I've heard from some other performer friends of mine about like going on the forums. People like get deep talking about their stroker experiences.
I think it's cool when they make models of the vagina of the porn stars. And then they have them on the stroker. I think that's really cool. But they don't look really realistic. Like I looked at some of them and they look really miniaturized. Like the stroker pussies, like the pussies that are supposed to look like. Why aren't they full size?
Well, because I don't think most performers want like their big pussy sold.
I would. I think that would be fun.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I have to ask why they're not to scale. Like, why is your pussy not to scale, woman?
No, it's not her fault. It's the manufacturer.
Well, yeah, but they're involved with the branding deal. Like, their name's on it. They have some negotiating power.
Well, maybe they don't care. Maybe they're not like me, where I'd be like, that is not the size of my pussy. It is bigger. I will not sign this deal. Because, I've been doing this for 6 months.
Let me finger bang my fucking toy before you put it to market. I have to take myself for a test drive.
Like, yeah, and that's probably why I'm never going to be a big porn star. Because I'd be like, I want my fans to really get the experience. But no, if you look at the strokers, oh my God, that would be a fascinating thing. If you could interview like one of the manufacturers or the marketing of strokers and like get in depth. No, where I think it would be really interesting. It might not be a full hour, 2 hours or whatever, but is to find out like what their market research is and how they go about like the demographics and like how they make it.
No, I'm thinking about exactly who I could call on that. I know exactly who I could call.
Yeah. Like, how is their business structured? What is because this is what they live. This is what they do every day.
Believe it or not, a lot of it is like old school traveling salesman. I have a friend who is a rep for a toy company, and literally she's on a plane almost every week going to various adult stores. Like,
really? So road warrior stuff still, which is okay. And that's interesting because so I come from a consumer products where I used to sell very consumer product, vanilla things, toys, party supplies to Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, like, really national accounts back in the 90s and early 2000s. But before that, I was a road warrior and I was going to different toy and novelty and mom and pop stores and stuff. But that makes sense because there really aren't national brands of sex toy stores. I would think most of the business is online. There's some, right, where they have corporate buying.
Yeah, Adam and Eve.
And do they have physical stores?
They have physical retail stores. Not a ton of them, but they do.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot less than they used to before online became a thing.
Well, Midwest-wise, Lion's Den, which is an adult DVD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's one of those in like by Oshkosh.
Yeah, they're all over the Midwest. They're
okay,
huge.
And so she is basically a traveling salesperson for sex toys.
Yep, and she travels with a suitcase full of sex toys, and she often has fun TSA stories.
Oh, I bet. Oh, that would be you've not had her on yet?
No, I probably should fix that. I've known her for years.
Yeah. No, that's okay. It's, better late than never, but I think that's fascinating. And maybe she could do like a show and tell.
Yeah, that'll definitely get me demonetized on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. You're on YouTube.
No, most of the video versions are actually on the Patreon. I just do clips on YouTube, so it's fine. It's actually
okay. Fine. Yeah. So her show and tell, you could take that off.
Right. That wouldn't go. That would be for patrons only.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's fun.
But Elaina, I hate to cut this short.
That's really okay. Short. I figured we had to be done soon.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call last call on this motherfucker.
Okay. Perfect timing.
Where can they find you on the things?
On the what?
The things, like the internet.
Things. Oh my God. Well, I'm Elaina St. James. Elaina, Elaina. St. James, so ST and then James, common spelling. And so I'm Elaina St. James on Twitter. I'm Elaina St. James on Instagram. I am Elaina at 54 because I'm 54 years old on TikTok. But most importantly, I'm Elaina on Fansly, and I'm Elaina VIP is my really good page. on OnlyFans. So Elaina VIP. But yeah, but I have a, if you just go on Elaina St. James, you're going to find me, .com. You're going to find all my links. But yeah, I'm all over the place. Try not to find me. I'll find you. No.
Promises.
I know. Just like the masturbating help of your hand.
I'm here to help. This is what I do for my guests. Some guests, not all guests. Like, I really don't want to wake up with like some of my male guests like, oh, that's shit. Oh. But on that note,
be careful what you wish for. But I will want to know an update on the pussy ratings.
I will definitely keep you in the loop on that.
Please.
You can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt F. and Slayer on Facebook, twitch.tv/Matt F. and Slayer. You can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Matt Slayer. You can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter and Now We Drink _ on Instagram. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.
Yay! Drink up.